Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, and Brazil should be coming on in a little bit, but she isn't able to get here right now, so I just wanted to get started because I can't stay here as long as I usually do. So thank you for joining me today. Obviously, we'll be doing lots of chatting in the chats, talking about Love Island Season 2, Episode 30. We're getting into the end of the season. Not finally, because I've actually been really enjoying it. If this is your first time on Reality Realness, well then, welcome. Make sure you, I guess there's subscribers right down below. Subscribe right over here. We're all about reality TV, and hopefully if we find any gossip out, we'll have some gossip that goes along with it. So we are on our journey, and please help be part of this journey to 1,000 subscribers. We want to do this hopefully by October 18th. And if so, I have a special guest that will be willing to come and chat with us about something reality TV. So if you have a new show that you really want to talk about that you think is really exciting, that that's kind of Love Island-esque, obviously reality based is what we're kind of going for here, let us know in the chat so we can figure out what we're going to talk about with this special guest, this celebrity that we will be talking about. Hi, Anna. How are you? You're probably excited about this episode. Brazil should be here shortly to join in the conversation. So, it starts off the episode with Carrington making a toast about Kirsten. And I was actually pretty annoyed by it because it's like, Kirsten was kind of hung up on Carrington this whole time. She wasn't really able to find love anymore because of the fact that, she had such a big crush or, felt slighted or whatever it was about Carrington. And so the fact that he was, making this toast and calling her, she is a strong-willed, independent woman who has a lot going for her. And although she didn't find love here in the villa, she's going to find love in the real world. And I'm just big eye roll. It's like, you're not the best catch, Carrington. I found it was just really annoying to listen to him try to give this toast. I'm sure that the producers suggested him to give the toast, but I was pretty annoyed that he was the one that basically she's gone because Carrington wasn't interested in her anymore. And I don't know, I was irritated by the fact that he felt the need to make a comment of some sort. Hi, Jaquan, how are you? So Brazil should be here shortly. I decided to get started just in case. I'm trying to leave a little bit early, so I have somewhere to be. So I just wanted to get started with this episode. So what do you guys think about Kirsten leaving and Carrington's speech? So annoying, in my opinion. Hi, Sierra. Hi, Vicky. Don't worry, Vicky. Brazil should be here soon. She's just running a little bit behind, but I'm running. Well, I need to be somewhere shortly, so I need to get started. I thought it was a great episode as well. It was pretty good. I didn't think it was that crazy. I thought it was pretty good. There was just a lot of things that were going on. We saw a lot of growth in all the different couplings, which I thought was really great that we finally have seen just things move in a different direction. It was a lot of the couplings, because they were newer, they're pretty stagnant, I found. And so the fact that there's these, growth in these relationships was really, really, really interesting. Oh, I don't know what you're saying about Johnny, though, because I have an opinion about if it's what I think you're going to say. But yeah, divulge. We can get into it. It's kind of like this. I don't have that many notes, we'll say. So after the toast that Carrington makes, you can hear Cely go, and thanks to Julia too, or cheers to Julia as well. She kind of put that in. So I'm wondering if she doesn't really like Kirsten that much, or if she just really wanted to just give some love to Julia, since there wasn't really any mention that she also was leaving. Jaquan says, I will give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, I agree with that, 7.5. What do you guys think about this episode? What would you give it out of 10? Anna says, Carrington has shown himself, I think. Good friend, but totally not meant for a relationship. Absolutely. He's 23. He doesn't know how to deal with these women coming on to him. He loves the idea of having his pick in the candy store. And yeah, like, I mean, people have been keep on saying like flashy new toy and flashy new toy. He's going to just go to something new, and he probably will, because he's a young, attractive man on a dating reality show. And I don't think that he thinks he has a chance to win, but I do think he chose Laurel because he thinks he has the best chance to win with her. But if he didn't go with Laken, I think that he might have been able to slip into maybe the number 2 spot. But the fact that he had that moment where he left Laken and then came back to Laurel, I don't think he really has a chance to get even the 2nd place spot. Vicky says, what do you think Justine did with Caleb? I think I'll wait for Brazil to talk about the Hideaway. I think that she would be upset if I had this discussion without her. Yeah, so we'll talk about it whenever she gets here. We will definitely go deep into the Hideaway. Hi, Vera. How are you? I low-key felt bad for voting for Moira and the most two-faced. Not gonna lie, I did as well. And what was really interesting, though, is that, like, you know, I did the vote. I even like showed, like, I sent the text. I did a screen grab to Karen, and I sent it to Brazil because I thought it was just really funny. That's who I thought was two-faced. And I do think that she's, to an extent, two-faced. You know, she hasn't really been that great of a girlfriend. You could see her, you know, stopping Kirsten from getting to know Aaron. You could see her trying. She just seemed to be wanting to, you know, have all the attention from the boys on her at the expense of maybe her friends getting you know, getting some alone time or starting to pursue maybe some of these guys. So I thought that she was being really selfish. So maybe two-faced, how they're looking at it is maybe a little bit different. They're kind of being like, oh, we don't think you're two-faced. You know, you're such a genuine person. But I think the two-facedness is really about how she's been treating, you know, the girls within relationships, and they're not really seeing that. And that actually kind of reiterates the fact that she's kind of two-faced, because they're not even seeing her other face. In America is. But I did feel a little bit bad. But everybody I know voted for Moira for that spot. Vicky says, me too. I felt bad for Moira. I felt bad for the fact that she took it the way she did. Like, she was very, very distraught, and she's probably thinking of all the things that she must have done to warrant that reaction from America. But, like, I think it's a good thing, though, for her to be like, okay, so what could they be seeing that they don't think of me as being a genuine person? Like, I think that she's been a pretty shitty friend, kind of, you know, just bouncing around from everybody. She went for Connor, she went for Aaron, and she went for Calvin. Like, she's all the people that she goes for. It's kind of like she's taking them away from somebody and then stopping somebody else from getting to know them. And so I don't really like that characteristic about her. Maybe two-faced is not the exact term for it, but she's not. I don't know. I think that she should do some reflection as to why people thought that. Jaquan says, I voted for Moira too, but someone had to be it. Like, so who do you guys think should have been the person that was voted most two-faced if it wasn't Moira? Vicky says, Cely was acting weird towards Justine. Justine is always happy for her. Why Cely? Come on. Well, Vicky, this is what I'm thinking, and I'll probably mention it again when Brazil comes in, is that if this was their second hideaway, maybe they just don't understand why they're getting to go a second time. Like, why is America voting them a second time when they just had a hideaway a couple of days ago? And so that's kind of what I'm thinking is the reason as to why they're not as excited, because they just, like, already did the whole, we're excited for you guys to go to the hideaway, and, you know, the villa voted them into the hideaway. And so if that's the case of what went down, we still haven't seen the images of when she's wearing, like, the orange earrings and she has the bun and she's with full makeup in the bed. We have not seen that scene yet, and that was the scene of, like, where is this hideaway? So I was speculating that, you know, if they had where she was wearing those same earrings and she had their hair in a bun with the lashes, and we saw the night cam and they used that footage for this new poll, maybe that would be one thing. But it's kind of like the villa people didn't even know that the audience hasn't seen the hideaway, the original hideaway. And so I think that they're wondering, like, what's going on? Like, why is America voting them in again? I mean, I would have thought that maybe Carrington and Laurel will get a chance to maybe like, get to know each other a little bit better. Why 5 days later, 3 days later, are they getting another Hideaway right back to back? Like, why? It just didn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense to them, in my opinion. So that is probably why Johnny and Cely are not like over the moon, because I think they already gave this over the moon reaction the first time when they had a Hideaway that we didn't get to see. That's my thoughts. And it says, I've decided that while Johnny's feelings are probably genuine, but his love for the game and winning is overshadowing this, so it's conflicting. Yeah, I think that we all have to remember that everybody's there to play a game, and they're getting closer to the money being something that is tangible, like something that they can touch at this point. They all knew that there was money at the end of this road, and so it's kind of like, I want to win the game, and if I find love and fall in love, that's a great added bonus. So I don't think that we should behoove anybody that is there to win money and play the game, because it's a game show and there's a prize at the end. And so, I mean, why are we getting mad at somebody that wants to win the prize? It might not be the way that we would go about playing this particular game. Like, we might be in there specifically for love. But I feel that it's valid that people, especially now that we're getting closer to the end, could be wanting to win. Because it's a lot of money. It's life-changing money. They're all really young, and they could use this for their family. They could use this to do a lot of change and a lot of good. They can set themselves up. Like, it's just, it becomes a little bit different just because there's money at the end. If there was like The Bachelor when there's no money at the end, maybe I could be thinking a little more harshly when people are considering it to be a game. But these people, it's a lot of money. I want 100 grand or 50 grand. Like, that's great. So I hear what you're saying, though, Anna. Hi, Deja. How are you? So them thinking Justine is two-faced is BS. Oh, I think that they were just saying that because they knew that Justine is the least two-faced out of them all. Like, and she could probably take it because she knows that she's not two-faced. I think that's why they said her name. I don't think it's for any other reason other than that, because I don't think that she's two-faced at all. I don't think that they think that. I don't think she thinks that either. Anna says, I think it's the same for the rest of the villa. The pressure is getting to them and they are salty. Yeah, I mean, there is pressure there. If they had a previous Hideaway, Justine and Caleb, and then America voted them in again, I would probably feel like, oh, America really hates us now and like doesn't want to see any of us and our relationships do better. And so they probably were feeling like, oh wow, our game is completely over to win. And yes, we found a coupling now, but like we thought that at least we had a chance. But with them being voted in right after they had a Hideaway, maybe that's making them feel a certain type of way. Hi, Lily. So Johnny is the problem. He is the one being shady, and it rubbed off on Cely. So yeah, I watched like the gif of him clapping, and he's kind of sitting on the couch, and he's just like. And so, as a joke, I was kind of saying, like, he basically watched 100 grand just walk off into the Hideaway. And so I could see that that's, him realizing, especially if they had a previous Hideaway a few days before, that if they are not being invited in or somebody else is not being invited or voted in by America to go in the Hideaway, that there's probably no chance that they're going to be winning. And so that's kind of where I'm thinking that is going for this time. I already started in, but we're still pretty much at the beginning. Hello, Brazil. How are you today?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm not bad. Just tired and got stuff to do, but I'm good. And I'm talking on Rob's tonight, so I'm gonna have to do some watching of Big Brother. So I'm just like, oh boy. But
you're gonna kill me. Can we zoom out?
Oh.
I hate it. I don't know why. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we're just talking about how everybody's kind of thinking that Johnny and Cely are salty, but I was mentioning the fact that we even discussed that maybe the reason is because if they just had a couple of days ago a Hideaway, then what is, why are they already getting voted back in again by America to have another Hideaway experience? So if that was it, it just would be weird. And I'd be like, what the F? Like, why wouldn't they want to give it to somebody else in a new relationship? They just saw them 2 days ago or whatever. And so
I wonder if they can ask the producers, like, what they air.
I don't think they know anything.
I wonder if any of them put the 2 and 2 together. Probably not.
I don't think that they would be like, oh, they're not going to show the other Hideaway, so they gave him another one. I don't think that they would come to that conclusion.
No, I don't think so either. Oh my God, I love the little graphic.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Yay.
I thought it looked better than just the square because, like, I mean, I can actually, I'll try something else next time to get just the heart. But
no, I like it.
Unseen Bits, I haven't seen that yet, but we'll find that shortly, Vicky. Hi, Mary, how are you? So why did they choose to air the questions they did? Are they trying to protect the image of a particular person? No, most likely to cheat question or fakest. They didn't do fakest?
No.
Wasn't Carrington fakest? What did they do?
Should I tell them about the change.org since everyone's here already?
Sure.
Or do you want to wait until later?
Well, you already brought it up, so just say it now.
Well, this made me think of it. You guys, I started a change.org. And I will post it in the chat. So if you could sign it, if you agree, then we would.
It's in the description box.
Huh?
I put it in the info box, like the description box.
Oh, okay. I'll post it there too.
As well, but I'm just saying that it's in there.
Yeah, because I think like what Mary's saying, yeah, why aren't they showing like those certain questions? It's to make Johnny and Cely have a better narrative. Like, what's the end goal there? So, yeah, we've been talking about it, and then I finally did it last night. So, hopefully it posts. We'll see.
It will.
Oh my God, it's too long. What the hell? It's too long. It says minus 48 characters, so it's like too long of a link.
Really? Well, can you make it a bit.ly link, maybe?
Yeah.
So Lily says when the center of attention, he always looks salty. I mean, I think that we're actually kind of unnecessarily hating on Johnny. I know that once somebody maybe wrongs you, you start really looking at everything that they do as something bad or nasty or whatnot. But again, like I said, I feel that they did have a Hideaway already. And I think that he probably is salty because of the fact that, like, oh, I realize now, like, especially if America voted them in twice, or like they voted themselves, Justine and Caleb in the Hideaway, and then America voted right on top of it right over again, that they must really be disliked. And I think that it was hard for him to be happy about the situation because they were already probably did the whole like happy and celebration and get dressed up. Like they probably already did that for the Hideaway the first time. And so it just seemed probably disingenuous for them to just be like that excited a second time around. So like, why do you think that they didn't just show the original footage? Like just because show it.
They want Jelly. Well, yeah, they want Jelly to win, I think.
But Johnny looking like mad and Cely not looking like she's being a supportive friend is not really good for their narrative.
No, but him going all the way and saying I love you is.
I don't think that Johnny not looking happy for his friend and Cely looking like she's not being a good friend to Justine is helping them be the winners of this game.
No, I 100% agree with you, but I think I think at the end of the day, like the end goal of them not showing it, unless it's just blatant racism, I think it's because they wanted Johnny and Cely to be the front runners, and Justine and Caleb were inching up on that spot.
But like the way that they set up those texts, like was like one next person got it, next person got it. Like 2 people got the text for them to be voted to go into the Hideaway. They know that they're going to be getting a reaction that's not going to necessarily be positive out of the people that they want to be their front runners. It just seems like it's not really a nuanced decision. It seems quite. It doesn't seem right.
And that's what I was. I think we were talking
to be the winner. Like, why would they make her angry?
No. I'm. Well, because I don't think that they intentionally are doing that. Like, I don't think they're really thinking about the consequences of, like, I think in this moment, they're only thinking about how pissed off everyone has been, like, you know, tweeting at them and how vocal everyone's been. So I think this episode was definitely trying to appease Caleb, stands, because they probably knew they were in the wrong. And I don't think they really thought about how Johnny and Cely would look in this instance. But that's just my personal opinion. But it did, I told you last night, it almost did confirm to me that they had a hideaway already. And I think that's why they had the reaction that they did, is like, why is America choosing them like twice? Because I, just like a competitive person, I would be like, what am I doing wrong that like America is choosing, you know, this other couple instead of me? So I'm not excusing like the looks or whatever, but I just think that's the only thing that like can make sense to me if Cely and Justine are like that good of friends.
I agree. And like, you know, the fact that Cely didn't, like, she did go in there at one point and was like, you deserve this. This is so good. America chose, and Cely said it a few times, America chose you. America wants this. America, this is what America wants. And so that makes it also confirms to me that there already was a previous hideaway that the Islanders voted Caleb into.
Because even Justine looked almost, I mean, it's like seemed a bit insecure. She's like, there's so many other people that wanted this. And she was like, yeah, but America voted you. So it's like, it's not like it's my first hideaway. They never once said it's my first hideaway. Like, it was just kind of like they've already been there, done that. And I don't know. How would you feel, though, if you got off the show and they didn't air one of them?
Well, to be fair, like as a Black person living in North America, I would expect that. I would expect that part of like my storyline would not be added.
Would you speak on it? Like in interviews?
Before Black Lives, like before June 2nd, no. But now I would.
Now? Okay.
Because now it's kind of like I have nothing really to lose anymore. Before, you know, there is a level of maintaining the systemic racism that happens within, especially in the entertainment world. And so, you know, you don't want to be somebody that people don't want to work with. You don't want to be somebody that's always pulling the race card, as others like to name it. You don't want to be problematic. You don't want to be disagreeable. You want to be likable. You want people to want to work with you. And so you definitely choose your battles more, and less likely for you want to speak out on something about race, especially because it makes everybody uncomfortable. And sometimes, well, in the past, I would feel as though I would rather just suck it up and deal with it and just know that that's what's going on, as opposed to really being vocal about it. So yeah, so I would now.
It's definitely going to be a topic of conversation for exit interviews for them. So I wonder how they're going to approach it. I guarantee you they're not going to watch right away. Like Mackenzie hasn't really watched. Like I feel like no one, unless you're, I don't know. Like if I was on it, like I don't think I could watch. Like I never watch our interviews back. You know what I mean? Like I don't. It's not the same, but I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't watch right away, especially. So I wonder. I just hope. I don't know. I mean, I hope they can shed some more light on it, and maybe have an explanation. But at the same time, I hope that this starts the conversation, because it's so ridiculous.
I mean, we'll see. Most of the entertainment world is run by people that don't necessarily, not that they don't care or support, but it's not something that affects them. So they're less likely to put in all the measures to change things, because, you know, why do they have to? You know, they're still making their money. They're still getting their viewership. They're still getting their ad sponsors. So that's why it's going to take a little bit of a while. But like, I think that they're trying to rectify things a little bit, but I think it's going to take a couple years before they start getting it right, in my opinion.
And I think you're right. Oh, sorry.
Jaquan says, I think both couples are great friends, but at the end of the day, it's a competition. Even though Jelly went to the hideaway, they went in first, which was a long time ago. And on the other hand, Caleb had a date. What do you mean? Oh, well, that date was like Caleb making that date for them. Was that before the hideaway?
We don't know. I don't know. I have no idea like what this time.
This current hideaway on this episode, they had that date at the beginning of the episode, correct? Before the hideaway?
Oh no, that was yesterday's. Jaquan's talking about the date that they had like near the pool, where they can kind of see like overlooking Nevada a bit, and they were like talking. Yeah.
But that wasn't the same episode as them going to the hideaway?
The first hideaway that we don't know about?
Second hideaway?
No. That was last week, I believe. That date. But the s'mores was.
No, you're talking about. I don't think he's talking about s'mores.
No, yeah, that date was like last week.
So you're saying that last week was when they were looking outside and he's like, you're the greatest of all time. And they're looking at the sky.
I'm talking about the date where they were like in the pool. It was during the daytime. Like she ate a strawberry and then we like laughed about it.
Oh,
I think that's the date he's referring to. Because Cely and Johnny technically have not had a date together.
It's true. I mean, to be fair, like they have had like a lot of manufactured dates, like Caleb for sure, like compared to Cely and Johnny. So it's interesting though that people are coming so hard for Johnny and Cely having too much airtime, but they didn't necessarily have like these date moments that they have.
I think it's because they have all the airtime. I mean, not all the airtime, but I would say, I mean, prior to this, maybe like 60% at least. There's not, I mean, they're like, especially after Casa Amor, they were like the couple to follow because of the trials and tribulations
but
they're
they've
going
been together from the very beginning as well. So from day one, they've been together. So I can understand why they have the interest of people. Obviously, people are going to be invested in their story, and then the other relationships just keep on. Like the only other relationship that's even close would be at that time would have been Justine and Caleb, and everybody else had just been shuffling around so many times that there was nobody strong. So it obviously have most of the storyline if the other people are not even talking to each other. Yeah. Justine says, or Caleb's. Sierra says Justine even hesitated to go to the room to see if anyone would get up and help her get ready. Yeah, I think that she felt uncomfortable by the fact that everybody probably wanted to go to the Hideaway and didn't think that because they just had one that they would be voted in to have one again. I could understand them feeling awkward about that.
I mean, yeah, it's just like being, I would feel like, especially if they were the last ones to have it, which I think is the case, it's kind of like, okay, give someone else a turn, but we haven't seen it, so.
Well, I mean, maybe the producers told them something different. I know we wanted to see the Hideaway, but I would like just to hear the moment be like, oh my God, we were just here, like maybe to somebody else. Because like I just would like to have seen that moment then just to confirm everything and whatnot. But now it's just like speculation, and everybody now is turning on Cely and Johnny even more for the fact that they weren't being gracious. And I understand the reaction though, personally. I'd be like, what? Like,
we talked about this last night. Like, I would be disappointed that I wasn't able to go into a room and mess around with someone that I'm in love with in front of a million other people. So, I mean, I get it, but I just think we're not seeing it. It's just not, I don't think their reaction is the way that people are taking it. I don't think it's malicious at all. I think that they're actually friends. I just think they don't understand why they got 2 in a row.
Absolutely. And I would be wondering the exact same question. And so, you know,
but it's just Johnny's face. Like he just goes from like bro to game mode. Like it's like a different face comes over him. And I even texted Chantele yesterday during the, like before that part of the episode. And I even had to rewind it because I didn't see it. Like I didn't think anything of it initially. And then she said that other people were talking about it. But I did say that Johnny was like growing on me a bit, just the way he was like talking with Cely and things like that. So I don't know. I feel like if I didn't pick up on it right away.
I didn't pick up on it right away either, but it could have been because I was like distracted by, what was going on. I was taking notes and stuff like that. So I'm going to see if I can find it though, because someone had made a GIF out of it. Did I send it to you or no?
Oh, it's on a Love Island USA Twitter.
Is that where it is? Okay, do you want to find that while we continue along? Just so we can take a look at it again. But
yeah,
it looks like to me like people are salty because they just would have wanted somebody else to go into the Hideaway. And I do feel as though they just may be feeling at this moment, especially if they just had gone to the Hideaway a week before or 2 days before or whatnot, that their chances of winning just went out the door because they just voted them back in again.
But it's like at the end of the day, you guys, like, I don't care about their reaction. Like, I am happy that Justine and Caleb got 2 Hideaways at the end of the day. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. So, I mean, their relationship with Justine and Caleb is like their business in the outside world, and I'm just focused on Caleb right now. And yeah, so I think everyone else should do that too.
And another thing too, with Caleb's reaction to the Hideaway, like it wasn't as if it was the first time. I mean, that looks like somebody that is definitely not happy that they're getting the Hideaway again. But I think it's again. I think it's the
Exactly. It's that little word that's changing everything. And I really don't think it's anything malicious. I just think they're confused and they have no idea. And when they come out, I guarantee you.
Oh my God, that's why like America was voting them. I want to see their relationship grow.
And I hope they speak on it too.
Well, I mean, if we get to talk to them, we'll ask them the questions. Deja says, I think after the game, everyone knows who America's favorite is. 100%. We know that, like, it's very clear that America's favorite from the who got what question that Caleb or Justine and Caleb are the fan favorites. 100%. Margot says, looks like Caleb is getting the winner's edit finally. I mean, I want it to happen. I'm still wary that they might pull something out. We have also talked about the fact that both Cely and Johnny have a lot more Twitter or Instagram followers than Caleb and Caleb combined. And so if that's an indication of the level of fandom, yes, the people that have been voting on the app may have been, you know what I mean? More so supportive of Justine and Caleb, but I don't know if to win the game, if their fans might not come in there and like start supporting them some more. So,
after the island, they also brought that up.
What did they say?
They basically said the same thing. They were like, please don't. They were basically campaigning for people to go follow Justine and to give her more followers. And yeah, I mean, they're totally Team J. I was just watching last night to prepare for tomorrow morning's episode. And honestly, a lot of what they talk about, me and you say. So it's like I never normally watch them until like Jaquan or someone like brings it up because it's I feel like kind of repetitive. But it was just interesting. They brought that up and said like just because they have the most followers, like please vote for Justine and Caleb. Like they're anti-Johnny for sure. And I know that they're biased. We've talked about that before, but.
Well, and also like they super love Mackenzie or Mercedes, so
yeah, they said that they loved her when I think Mackenzie came on or Aaron or I think Aaron. They were like, oh my God, I wish you could have like met Mercedes. Like we love her, and I was like, what the fuck?
She's just phony as those flowers that Johnny gave Cely. Okay, somebody said that before. She's fake. Brazil, you didn't even comment on what I did.
What did you? Oh my God, we're in the diary room.
I was like,
wow, how'd you do that?
On that.
Whoa. I was thinking last night, I was like, well, Zoom, I would have made my background like Caleb or something funny, but I was like, I don't know how to do that in StreamYard. Oh my God, I love it.
I just figured that out too.
Also, shout out to Chantele for like doing the covers for the videos because I think that's been helping traffic and more people watching. So
thanks.
I just think she's putting in a lot of extra effort. So
well, I love chatting with everybody, but I just want it to be something that grows, and I want to build a community of people that we get along with. Like I love everybody that comes into these chat rooms and have these discussions with us, and I don't want it to stop right after Love Island ends. Like I want to continue discussing different shows and like learning more about people. Like we learn about people's real names and middle names, and like I don't know, I definitely appreciate that because like I love reality TV because I love the social experiment of it all. Like I am a social person. I love getting to know new people. I find it fascinating to see how human beings operate in the world with each other. And so the chat room and getting to know some brand new people is just kind of an extension of that world that I love. So I don't know. I love it. And I'm happy that you think that my thumbnails are helping people, come to this channel and hang out with us.
I love them. They stand out. They're colorful. They look very Love Island-y. So
thanks. Ching. Deja says, I was disappointed that no one acted happy or even helped Justine get ready like she did for everyone else. So we said this a couple times, Deja. I think that they've already did it like 2 days ago. And so I think that Justine might not have been feeling like she wanted to make it a big deal because it would be kind of rubbing salt in the wound to all the other Islanders in that moment.
wouldn't they all be making a big deal if it was their first one?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. They'd be all helping her figure out what to wear. Like all the boys would be in there with Caleb, like bro.
Like she wanted to not hide, but like she didn't want to be too excited about it because I think that she knew that other people were kind of disappointed that they didn't get it.
She was trying to play it down.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I think she was trying to play it down. Like, no, don't help me. Like, it's all good. And then Cely went in and they had that little conversation about like, this is what America wanted. Like, it's okay. It's good. You know what I mean? Like, I think that she was hurt, Cely, but like she still did want to support her friends there. And, you know, I also felt that Caleb being so excited to go to the Hideaway, I feel like it's because they've already been before and they kind of the ice with like comfortability of like having that alone time. And so, you know, this was the first time he was quite overtly talking about her being naked and like, you know, a little bit more sexual conversations. And I think it's because the first time they already broke the ice the first time going in the Hideaway that we didn't get to see.
And he wouldn't have said like let's stop the talking and get to whatever. Like he would never say that if he thought
their first night together. Like no way.
No, I mean, I don't think even if he was thinking that their first night, he would never say it. So it just shows that he was that comfortable. It's already been a thing, and I mean, if you really like, she didn't look. I mean, she had full makeup on, but she looked very like she had like full makeup on in that first picture that we saw.
Glamorous. Sure.
Yeah. So
Skylar, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for subscribing. You might have been our 200 subscriber, either that or 199. So that's I think we're at the 199th video that I posted and the 199th subscriber at the same time, which is kind of funny.
You have 199
videos, yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, like, think about how many I've done since COVID.
I know, it's just crazy. Like, I've never thought to quantify it, but I mean, even Big Brother Cheesecake, yeah. I mean, the challenge, yeah.
Well, like, yeah, for even Love Island, I've done at least 30, right?
Yeah.
For the challenge, I did probably 18. You know, then I did Drag Race Canada, Drag Race regular, so that's another 30 combined.
Big Brother Cheesecake and Big Brother 22.
Exactly. I mean, I haven't been doing that one that regularly because I'm really not enjoying it. So I'm not being that diligent. It does. I don't know.
I'm honestly, I've never been.
Thanks for hanging out. What?
Oh, sorry. I said I've never been this unexcited for a season of Big Brother.
Over it.
Thank God for Love Island.
Jaquan says, welcome to the channel, Skylar. Aw, Jaquan, the welcome committee. Thank you, Jaquan. He's the mayor of the chat room for Reality Realnesss.
He's also the pot stirrer, so beware.
Well, actually, I haven't said anything yet, so I wonder what his opinion is about the whole
He's waiting.
See, he isn't so happy with Jelly's reaction, and I get that, but it's like, I feel that
Justine and Cely are such best friends. Like, I think that's genuine. I don't think it's anything malicious. I think they're let down that America chose another couple over them. And I think that's all there is to it. And I don't think they understand why. And they won't until they're out of the show. And you know that I would normally, I mean, I'm still standing up. I'm not standing up for Caleb, but I think people are reading way too much into it.
Well, and they're holding her accountable for something that's like, they are only seeing a few snippets of something, you know, like what if, you know, they had made a pact, all of them being like, no matter what, like the next person going into the Hideaway is going to be Carrington and Laurel. Maybe like they decided that. They're like, okay, we're going to do that for them so they can get a chance to have some alone time. And then America votes them in or something. And we don't see any of their conversation. And then they're kind of upset because they didn't get to have their alone time. And Cely and Johnny are also upset they didn't get to have their alone time because America didn't vote. Like, you know, I can understand.
I just think that people need to direct the anger at the producers, yes, not at Cely, because at the end of the day, I think Cely is 100% Team Justine. I don't think she would ever do anything that would, you know, contradict that. So yeah.
This says, I think that they thought that they could get away with pushing their narrative, and now they are backtracking but now there are gaps in the narrative.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've been saying this to Brazil. We've been talking about it. And, we just were like, why didn't they just figure out a way to show the first Hideaway?
It would just, even, fuck it if Noah was the one that read the text. Like, just show them walking in. You don't even have to show them in the damn Hideaway. But, like, at least we knew that it happened. And then at that point, I think the vote may have been different. I still think that there are a lot of Caleb stands out there, and I still would have voted for Caleb and Justine.
It might not, though.
But I don't think all of America would feel that way. Like, it could have been a toss-up between even Moira and Calvin. Like, if everyone thought, and I think it would kind of be funny to see Moira and Calvin in the Hideaway, like, ew. But I don't know. It's just, I would direct the anger at CBS, and I think this episode was completely, I liked it. I liked it a lot, but it was just like, they know that the Twitter world's coming for them. They're definitely trying to, like, cover their ass. So
it's just so messy. It's like, come on, like, get it together. Just show us what you haven't shown us. Like, stop meddling in ways that aren't, like, good for the fans, and then realizing that you're not giving the fans what they actually want. Regardless, we want it to be an organic competition. So if, like, sucks that Johnny did this, but, like, let's not try to change what people are feeling about the couples in the house or in the villa, because that's not what you wanted in the beginning. Johnny messed that up with your twist. Like, if that Castlemore twist didn't happen, because it was new to the season. And we heard from the girls that the producers were convinced, like, they were encouraging them to be a little bit more exciting, a little more forward. Like, they wanted them to be coming on acting kind of stripper-esque or like party favors or fun girls, And so if they didn't maybe push them that way, maybe Johnny wouldn't have cheated, and they would have just made the front runner, and, like, you would have been able to have your narrative how it was, but you dangled too much in front of Johnny's little face and you ruined your storyline. So stop trying to fix it. Let it be organic. It's reality TV for a reason. And we're calling you out on bullshit now. Sorry. Like, before we might have let it slide, but now everyone's like, no. But I still think that they have an uphill battle, because it's still pretty racist America, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a start, though.
America, Canada, like the whole shebang. It's even, we were talking yesterday a little bit about in the UK, a whole Hideaway visit between, she was a black guy was never shown. And I remember thinking about it in that moment, like, we never saw their Hideaway or whatever, but, like, not fully thinking of it in this way, because they didn't really have a chance, I didn't think, to win. But I remember thinking, like, I don't understand why she left with him. Like, I didn't see them, like, really go that deep within their relationship. And it's because I didn't see their Hideaway. So they need to change their tactics, because we are not letting it slide anymore.
No.
Yes, I totally agree with you, though, Anna. So what did you think about Laurel and Carrington's conversation when she was like, she didn't think that he was going to pick her and whatever he was talking about?
Wait, who is this? Sorry.
Carrington and Laurel.
And she said, he was like, what were the odds I was going to pick you? And she said 50-50, 100%. He's like, 100%? She's like, no, 100% that it was 50-50. Yeah, what did I write down about this?
Well, this is what I was annoyed by. He's saying, like, like, you wouldn't even look at me, and like and when he was telling her why he picked her, he's like, I had really strong feelings about her, but, like, I don't know, whatever he was saying, I thought was garbage. He wasn't even making eye contact with her, and I didn't think he made her feel better about it. He kind of basically still said, like, I still was really surprised that my head could be turned, but I thought that I still wanted to go back to you.
And I that's what I wrote. I was like, did he keep her knowing Laken was staying? Like, I texted you, I think, right away. I was like, Carrington does not like Laurel. Laurel is just, I think, blinded by it. And I think when she gets out and if she does watch it back, and she, like, his body language, he's, like you said, he's not looking at her. He's, like, not even, like, facing towards her at all.
And what about him, like, tossing down the wine glass? I know it's plastic, but, like, do you think it's just because he was drunk, or just, like, I am so entitled?
I don't know. He's something else. I think he's just like frustrated that did he already have the Oh no, he didn't have the conversation with. Did he already have the conversation with Laken at this point?
In the beginning, no.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. I think maybe he's just like throwing a temper tantrum that like Laken's probably pissed at him, and now he has Laurel to deal with but he's blaming it on the fact he couldn't see her go. But I'm like,
whack. So Skylar says Trey has publicly stated that he thinks Johnny is acting, and that was one of his closest buddies in there. I can't really. It just seems too much of an act to put on for so long from somebody so young. Like, it's not like it seems like too much. I can't stand being around certain people for like that I don't like. That's why I could never have a sugar daddy, because I'm like, if I don't like you, you're gonna pretty much know it. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do that.
I think people are mistaking competitiveness for game, but it goes hand in hand. But like I said, he does a fucking switch. Like, it's like he's like, oh, love Cely, and then just like, oh my god, this would benefit me and Cely. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's like half and half, but I don't think it's like malicious towards Cely. I just think he likes to be the one winning.
I want to win. I don't play anything to lose. So
don't come for me. I'm not sticking up for Johnny. I'm just saying I'm also competitive, and this episode, I mean, I still think he's a little bit fake. Not sure if him and Cely will work on the outside, but I love Cely so much that I have no choice but to like root for him a little bit.
One thing I didn't love about Cely today was I thought that she was running into the kitchen to start making breakfast for everybody. And she brought the damn pots and pans out. She had to have been urged by the producers to do that, because like I would never ever think to do that ever.
Well, she did say in a prior episode that she like joked around about it. She's like, I'm gonna wake you all up before the lights come on. Like, she joked around about it, but I do think the producers were like, you know, like spice it, like probably just like a filler. And he was like, he did the whole thing about being a Cely bird, and he like gave her like a scientific name. It was hilarious, actually.
I mean, I wish that she just had made the breakfast, though. That would have just been way cuter. I was just like, oh man, they must be so annoyed at you right now.
I was just cracking up at Justine like getting up and like tackling her. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah, I mean, she knows she's annoying.
Yeah.
Definitely a little sister, like bratty. I wouldn't get mad at her, but I would probably go attack her and like shove a pillow in her face or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I still say I would be mad at her when she was doing yoga and Justine was walking out like half asleep. She's like, come on, Justine, put a smile on. Like, she was just like kind of chirping her. Like, I'd be like, bitch, what? I'm like, not a morning person.
Would be worse for me, because when I'm tired, certain sounds I can't hear, or it puts me in a bad mood. So
yeah, it's like we thought the villa was under attack.
Like, people like,
well, they probably thought like new girls were there, or new boys, or like, you know what I mean. The last time they woke up they woke up with the surprise that there was 3 new boys in bed.
Funny, but yeah, like it was just too loud.
Yeah.
Did you read what's in the comments? People are so funny. Mary says, Caleb seems pretty vocal about race, so unless there's something in his contract, I think he'll most likely say something.
Yeah, I didn't know that Caleb had like I think it's a Black Lives Matter podcast or something along those lines.
Where do we hear that?
I think Mari, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard it yesterday. Somewhere.
I'll definitely gonna look that up. Actually, I want to hear what he talks about. Yeah, that'll be very, very. Actually, we should find out, and I want to see how many followers he has, because podcast to podcast, also people might be likely to chit chat and interact or whatever. Don't play. I would go to somebody 17 years my how is he, 24?
Sure.
17 years my junior, and I would date Caleb because he's so cute. I wouldn't date Johnny though. Even though I think Johnny is like actually cuter, but
I was thinking about this last night. I was like, dude, if Chantele actually got Justine or Caleb on the podcast, like, I don't know what I would do. I don't think I would function. I don't think I would speak.
Really?
I think, nope. Mm-mm.
We'll get you some practice. You'll start talking. I'll get you talking to some celebs.
No, this is not my forte.
Briefly here.
I mean, I've had like celebs as patients, but it's like I'm kind of like they're like in my mercy almost. So it's like just someone coming on to talk for fun. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, especially them. Oh my god, I'd be so starstruck.
Did you ever watch Law and Order?
Yeah.
So do you know
SVU?
Pardon?
SVU? That's the only one I watched.
Oh no, I think he was in the normal one. Did you see the music? Oh, you don't like musicals, but Rent?
Oh, my cousin's obsessed, but yeah.
You know Jesse L. What's his last name? Jesse L. Martin.
This sounds familiar. I'd have to look up a picture.
Anyway, so Fanta that I do the challenge with, her best friend is Emily, who plays Felicity on Arrow, and so with her, she is friends with Jesse L. Martin. And so he last season wanted to come and talk on the challenge, season 35. And so it just never ended up happening, but he'll definitely come on and talk on season 36. We can make that for sure.
Wait, so is Anna friends with Fanta's?
So Emily, I know Emily as well. So Emily and Fanta and I all met in the same acting class in Vancouver. And so Anna, she went to work on Arrow. She was hanging out with Emily. And so I'm like, Emily, that's my best friend. She's like, no way. And I'm like, Anna, that's Emily. We're friends too. She's like, no way. And
that's cool.
Yeah. So they've worked together. They've met each other a few times, you know, in the circle.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for his,
yes.
podcast.
I want to see how many people he has. Cause like you want to get in there before he gets too many people, you know?
Track and field athlete at Belmont University. I also forgot. Sorry, I have to throw this in there. That Calvin is a pest control person.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Jaquan says, "I don't know if it was on the show. How could I have reacted in that moment? So I can't relate here to the other Islanders. Didn't go up. They all sat there, but Johnny and Cely got called out. I mean, I think that there must have been something said because." Justine, I really do feel that she must have been like, don't worry, guys, like we just had this hideaway. And they probably didn't want to put that footage of like the people being like, hey, we'll come and help you. And she just maybe saying, no, 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 no. So I think that they probably wanted to cut that out because it's not really adding to this new narrative of this being their first time at the hideaway, you know?
Mm-hmm. So again, who are we blaming?
CBS.
Thank you.
Jaco, and also says, I think the difference between the two couples are what the producers, editors of the show, because Caitlin was saying Johnny's conversation was deeper, so it wasn't shown, but with Johnny and Cely, they showed them having it. Interesting. I mean, we know that it's all, the whole show and the narrative is at the mercy of the production and the editors. And so
unfortunately,
what they think we want to see and what they want us to see, showed them having fun. That's true. Lily says, if Johnny and Cely don't win the money, you think he's still going to try and make it work? I think so, actually, especially because they're both the most popular within the villa. Even though like Justine and Caleb right now are really high in the eyes of like the super fans. But I think that because like it's going to be more valuable for them, at least in the first 6 months, for them to still be a couple. So they can do appearances together. So they can do photo shoots together. He'll probably learn more about Cely's music. And if he's doing anything in, I don't know, rap music, whatever it is, like maybe they will decide to collaborate on something. I don't know. I just feel that if they don't win the money, that he's still going to want to milk this experience for as much as possible. And he's going to make more money being in a couple with Justine instead of looking like a cheating asshole, which isn't very marketable.
With Cely, not Justine.
Oh, whoops. Whoa, Freudian slipped. Did I mean something? No, I don't think he's into Justine.
No. Yeah, I agree. I was going to say the same thing. Even if we are right about him, you know, like, playing the game and he doesn't win money, he can still capitalize on it afterwards. And I think that's exactly what he'll do. He has a following. He's definitely not going to stay in Virginia. His sister already moved to LA. I foresee him moving to LA. Cely already lives in Sacramento. It's like it's kind of, Sacramento's pretty far. But yeah, like they'll both come to LA. They'll both do.
They talked about dating, and like they were definitely propped up. Like the producer, like, can you guys lie around the pool? And so, like, they lied on like the corner of the jacuzzi, and they talked about like what it would be like to date outside the house. And so she was saying like, go bowling, go roller skating. I'm like, I'm actually loving all these dates that she's planning. I'm like, I love drive-ins.
Okay.
So much. What?
So only NorCal has drive-ins. So in San Jose, the Capitol Drive-In, it's like a flea market on certain days, and then it's drive-in theaters behind in like old movie theater that closed down. And then in Sacramento near Concord, or in Concord near Sacramento, they also have drive-in. So when she said that, I was like, oh, she's a big girl through and through, because they don't have those in SoCal. They've been starting to put them up since COVID, but yeah, it's just like that is exactly what like we would all go on dates. Like at high school, we'd all go to the drive-ins. It's just, I love that she said that.
I love drive-ins in general. And in high school, what we used to do is we used to all, like a big group of us, would get into a car. And so like we'd be hiding in trunks.
Yeah.
Like have booze in there. And so like for 2 people would pay to go into the drive-in. And then we just like all come out of the clown car and like watch the movie or whatever and drink and have a bit of a party.
We'd always take our friend's SUV. That way we could fit the most people. And then all the people, like the workers would be like, okay, 2 people, sure. And then like there's just like blankets in the back. We're like laying there.
So fun. That's like one of the joyous times of being a teen.
Yes.
Anna says, yeah, definitely not the first time. He was ready to go and plan. LOL. Absolutely. And so why do they think that we're stupid? I was like, friggin'.
I think that's why I'm most upset. Like, do you take me for an idiot?
So Vicky, and I think that, was it just Vicky? Yeah.
Hi, Vicky.
Before you got in, and I was like, I think we need to save this question for after Brazil comes in. So Vicky wants to know what you think Justine and Caleb did for round 2 in the Hideaway. Do you think they went all the way?
Probably, and I don't blame them. To me, like, same, like, when people get mad at people on The Bachelorette or Bachelor for having intercourse, like, you're going to make the decision to potentially have someone get down on one knee and propose to you, and you're not going to do that with them first. Like, come on. I think Caitlin Bristow was, like, one of the first people that was like, fuck this narrative, and that's why I love her for it, because she's a human. We're all human. She's Aquarius?
I said Canadian.
Oh, Canadian. Oh yeah, I love her. I love all Canadians, honestly. Well, no, not all. You guys are all supposed to be nice, and then I met some mean ones in Big Brother. We'll talk later. You know who's mean.
Oh, okay.
No, but I honestly hope they did, because that, to me at least, is a big deciding factor in whether or not I'm gonna go all in and date someone and potentially talk about moving to a different state for them, and or meeting like I would never bring a guy home to meet my dad that I hadn't fucked. Like I just like, we're all human. I hate the slut shaming. I think they did, and I don't blame them for it, and I'm there for it. I'm there for anyone that wants to do that in the Hideaway, because in the UK they don't give a fuck about the Hideaway. They're just going at it. So,
like with their right beside him, for sure.
Whatever.
When Calvin came out of the washroom, Caleb.
With just a towel.
Yeah, but did you see what he was doing? He's kind of hunched over like this, so I think he was hiding his boner.
Hey, I'd have a boner around Justine too.
But like he was fully hiding his boner for the camera, so I was like, okay, Caleb. Am I saying Calvin? Oh man, I must be tired. Like I cannot talk properly today. So Vicky, what do you think happened in the Hideaway?
Sorry if that was a hot take, you guys, but that's just
not that.
Caitlin Bristow is my hero for how she just did her own thing on reality TV.
So Lily says Cely and Justine are going to be friends regardless, so people need to stop. LOL. But Caleb in the Hideaway, I felt things. Yeah, I liked their Hideaway moment. I thought they were cute. I thought they were comfortable, and that's also another thing that kind of adds to our own perception that they must be their second time in there, because it didn't seem apprehensive. It seemed like they were comfortable in the hideaway, that they weren't like, oh, it's so nice in here. Like, they weren't playing that whole, like, the first time seeing this room. So I definitely really liked this whole moment. I'm happy that we got to see it. I wish you just got to see the first one. That would have been, in my opinion, a better moment.
Can you tell them what you texted me last night about going from 4 to 8?
I did. So this is for Anna, if you want to listen to this, Vicky, Rachel, if you ever come in today. Before this episode, I felt that the chemistry between Justine and Caleb was at about a 4. And I felt with, like, the boner and the hideaway that it was elevated to, and him calling her, I love him calling her the greatest of all time, my queen. Like, I do like how he refers to her and putting her on that pedestal. I think that, you know, you can't really be that comfortable saying that to everyone. And so the fact that he's really proud to say these describing words to her made me now kind of think of, like, their connection to be more about an 8. So I'm giving them about an 8.
Y'all, she doubled in one episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I was like, I was smiling through every single one of their moments. I was really enjoying watching them as a couple in these moments. In the other moments up until then, like, I liked them because I liked it, but it did feel for me a little bit like, you know, pulling these long, like, these conversations. Like, I wanted to see the lightness and the funness and the interactions. And that's what I got in this episode from them. It was all just a little bit lighter, and just them enjoying each other and them being happy to be around each other and not being worried about anything or talking something serious. Like, I just got to see them enjoying each other as human beings. And that's what I want to see in couples getting to know each other, or falling in love, as they say that they might be.
Woo, can we talk about that scene?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so I wrote down that Caleb calls Justine a goat, which I thought was adorable, because she is the greatest of all time, in case anyone's wondering. And then he said, and I think it, like, cut to him in the confessional. He said that he just, like, wants to make her feel special. She brings that out in him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought up the next chapter, and they thought it was funny how, like, their previous next chapter was just getting to know each other more. And then now, what's this next chapter?
I mean, it could be the L word. It could be winning the show. And I like that, like, every single episode, she's been smiley in the diary room, but she's being more smiley around him. And that's what I'm also liking, is that the film of, like, being a certain way is starting to be removed, and that is what I like. They're allowing themselves to feel things between each other, and so that's why I think also I'm feeling more of a connection to them, because there has been some, like, a layer of something that's been removed. You know what I mean? There's not something that's stuck in between them. And
I like how she was just, like, very upfront about, like, we don't need a title, because I think that the title a lot of times puts a lot of pressure on people. And I think people use a title. I'm not saying this about Johnny, but I'm just saying I think people use a title to, like, Connor and Mackenzie. Like, he immediately, like, his defense mode, he's like, will you be my girlfriend? Oh, wait, never mind. I want space today. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, just him asking her that alone made him totally panic. So I like that they're being realistic. And yeah, she said that she feels worth it and that she's one lucky girl. Like,
they both are really lucky, and
I just feel like hearing a girl say that she feels like she's worth it, when in the beginning of the season, like, she was like, I'm never anyone's first choice. Like, to me, that made me cry. Like, I was like, damn, she is, like, getting what she deserves. I mean, I hope
that is generally the plight of a Black woman.
Yeah, and that's what made me so emotional.
That has ever felt all the time that they're worthy of even having love relationships. You know what I mean? I mean, that's something that I definitely I still need to overcome, we'll say, is that, like, you know what I mean? Always feeling second best, second choice, or whatnot. Even in the relationships that I've had, I've never really been the first choice. And so I definitely understand what that feels like. And so that's probably also what I'm connecting to, is that he is willingly wanting to put her on her arm, his arm, and, like, have her be his trophy. And so
it makes him so hot.
Right?
Yeah, just, like, we need more Calebs in the world. Like, I don't he's just like not afraid of anything that regarding that, and I think that's so attractive. Oh, by the way, I asked Mari, I DM'd her on Twitter, and because I Googled it and there was nothing about his podcast, but she just shared it with me. It says Caleb and his friends having a pro-Black podcast that acts as a roundtable to discuss definitions of masculinity, challenges of being Black in white spaces, police brutality, and much more. And it's just like a picture of him with like a couple other Black males, and then it says, oh, I think it's called Not Another Hashtag. Okay, let me look it up.
So we'll get back to Justine and Caleb for sure, but going along into the episode, what do you think about Laken and Bennett's conversation? Like, you know, she's the first person that he felt a certain type of way about in the villa that he connected to, and then like, you know, she said that Bennett was at the top of her list, and you know, she knows that her friends and family would like really like Bennett, and Bennett knows the same like about him to her, and I'm like, they're so fake. But what do you think?
Yeah, so I was texting you this, like I was unsure of how I felt about Laken after this episode, because there were certain things that she did that made me be like, okay, like she could be a girl's girl, like I appreciate some of the things that she did, and then there was other situations like that where I'm like, if you really felt that way about Bennett, you wouldn't be like chewing Carrington out. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's what makes me think that she's a little fake. So,
I mean, I know that they have to have these chats now that they're coupled up with each other, and like they don't really know what to say to each other because they don't know each other at all. But I even felt, I don't know if it was before this or after this, when they were cuddling in bed for the first time, I thought that I would have been, if I were her, uncomfortable with getting that like cuddly with Bennett like that kind of quickly. Like I just didn't feel like they got to that level in the time that we saw them.
No, and it just, I think it shows. I mean, ever since Bennett name dropped Summer Rae, I was like,
I thought it was ever since, for me, it was ever since like he put those pliers on his nipples. Like I know that people like do like, you know, things for shock value, but like that really just turned me off for whatever reason. I didn't like that. So Cely and Johnny have an important, like a deep kind of conversation. A lot of people are coming for Cely about bringing up the fact that her mother had cancer, and they think that she was just saying that because she wants sympathy from the audience. Do you think that she's going that?
No, absolutely not. I think that she, I mean, and this is the conversation that I think we've been wanting to see from Johnny and Cely, and this is one of the things I was telling you about why I felt a stronger connection to Caleb, is because they were having those conversations, and Johnny and Cely, I didn't really hear them have those. So I did appreciate it, and if she wants to talk about her life at home, I don't think people should come for her. I think people are kind of being a little fucked up to her right now, and I think she is the way she is because she grew up that way. So that is a part of her. And
I think also part of her, like even her always wanting to make people happy.
Yes.
I'm gonna cry. Like, you know, the fact that she's always trying to please people and wants everybody to be in a good mood, and like she's usually like the cheerleader. And I think that she's had to do that a lot in her life and a lot for her family. Like seeing a family member, especially your mom, go through this multiple times. And
she was 16 years old.
And never seeing and never having that relief, and like having that fear that today might be the day that I lose my mom, and like my mom is not able to work and being able to support us, and she's always sick. Like that's like a lot for any family to go through. And it seems to me as though Cely has taken a lot of that burden onto herself. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's one of the reasons I'm sure she came on the show, is like, yes, she could find love, but she was like, I know she wants to bring home the money to help her family. Like, you know that she is the type of person that would give that money back to her family.
$1,000,000%.
Not and Justine and Caleb would do well with the money as well. So I don't think
that of course, but it's just, and at the same time, you guys, like, that is a conversation that needs to be had, because that, I think, says right there that she's not going to leave Sacramento. Like, that's a conversation that needs to be had for the outside world, because she's not going to leave her mom. So if that's like a deal breaker to Johnny and we just don't know about it, like, and clearly it wasn't. And I feel
like he wants to go and move to, like, I think he wants to be around her. Like, I know.
No, I agree, but like, I I could see her bringing that up as kind of like a, just so you know, I'm not going to Virginia. And I think that
he's not going to Virginia. Come
on. No. But I mean, like, I wouldn't just assume that. Like, I would, you know, kind of tell him like, yo, my family is really important to me. And this makes sense too. She said that she has like 10 people in her household. It's probably because her mom is sick and she lives with her aunt. So maybe her aunt's helping take care of her too.
Absolutely. I think so.
So, you know, I don't think people should be coming for her. She's been alluding to, you know, like a very strong family dynamic from the beginning, and now we know why. And I did not know people were coming for her about that. I think that's actually pretty gross.
And I know that she doesn't want to necessarily talk about it on TV, but like it is something that hugely defines her. Hugely.
Yeah. When she said that, like, I mean, I knew I like loved her for a reason, but that it all clicked. It was like, it connected all the dots for me. Like, no wonder why she's that way. I guarantee you she's that person at home when like things aren't going well. She's probably trying to run around, cheer everyone up. Like, that's just what she does. And that's probably what she's had to do her whole life. Not had to do, but what she has done. And
what she said too is like, she's really grateful. Stuff like this doesn't happen to people like her. You know what I mean? Almost like.
I know. Like, I don't think she's, like, you guys, you gotta like take your hate for Johnny and like not put it on Cely, because she hasn't done one thing to me. I mean, aside from apparently some side glances, like, she hasn't done one thing that I could think of that makes me think that she's fake or fraudulent or anything. It's just gross. I'd just be happy for Caleb. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah. We don't need to hate on Cely just because you don't like Johnny.
Yeah.
And let's have some compassion for the fact that Johnny's just 22 and maybe he made a mistake and maybe he's going to be an asshole, but they're also a young relationship that may have to make some mistakes. They're going to learn their lesson by not winning the money. Let's just be happy that they found something that's going to give them some great life lessons. You know, like, this is part of their life journey. This is something that they are going to take with them for the rest of their, you know, time here on earth. And so, you know, let's not, I know we're judging them because we're on a podcast talking about people on a TV show. Yes. But like, let's also still have some compassion for them being human beings on a human experience, and they're meeting people in their life that they connect with. And we don't necessarily need to beat them down for making decisions that we might not have made, you know?
And do people forget that she literally called him her best friend? Like, that is absolutely, like, my mom passed away when I was 17. Like, I would talk about that with my best friend, especially in the villa when I'm away from my family. Like, and especially if that was a deal breaker, like, that is something I would absolutely talk about because it defines, you know, like, who I am today. I think that's the same case for her. So people need to chill the fuck out.
And also really thought that, you know, how Johnny handled it too. I thought he handled it really well. And so I know some people are being like, oh, like, he didn't even really want to be there or whatever. Like, just giving him hate on how it's like, no matter what he does, because he's already seeing through the lens of hate, it's going to be bad. It's going to be for a game. It's going to be it's not going to be genuine. It's going to be because he's a cheater. It's going to be because of this. And like, actually, maybe he just wants to say this to another human being in this particular moment because he knows that that's going to make her feel better.
I think unless he's an actual sociopath or psychopath, no one can be fake to Cely like that. Like, she is just the most genuine, seems like the most genuine person ever. I don't know her just from watching, but unless he's actually a sociopath, I think he was pretty genuine. And I texted Chantele saying that, like, he did
win you over a bit.
Yeah, he did, because he wasn't imagine telling that to Carrington.
Like, how do you? I mean, unless he had a similar experience, and then he would be like, "Oh my god, I want to marry you." Are you like,
right? But he just, like, even with any conversation, he just like kind of gets up and walks away. Like, he was totally engaged. He was listening to her. Like, I think it was a very cute moment, and I think I'm actually happy to see a conversation like that between them, because I've yet to see it. So
even when he said, he's like, I've never met anybody like you, Cely, you're special, baby. I was like, I cried there for sure.
Oh, I did too. Yeah. No,
I'm sure that it's hard for her to say things like that because she's supposed to be the life of the party, supposed to be happy all the time. She's not really supposed to show that she's had any struggles going on in her life. And so this was a very vulnerable moment for her. I don't think that she usually is vulnerable or allows herself to be vulnerable, because she's probably the person that they cry on her shoulder. She doesn't usually cry on her shoulder.
Yeah. Like, when she was crying and Moira came in crying, what did she immediately do? Comfort Moira.
Moira.
Yeah. So and honestly, I think at this point in any reality TV show, people start to kind of break in regards to family, like being like away, like being in quarantine, especially for I don't even know how long before the show started. So she's probably really thinking about them. And I see this in The Bachelor too. Like whenever they go see their family, they're like over the moon, or like someone always like breaks down like about missing someone. So I think, yeah, it's just sad. I didn't know people were saying that about her.
And
I think,
like, if he is acting, I am sold. Like he's won an Oscar. If he can just put like a life act, it's just too much.
no, you're literally a sociopath if you're just like putting on a front in that situation.
But his advice that like her mom just seeing her happy is going to be enough. Is going to be enough for her mom. That's the truest thing he could possibly say. And you know, I know from people who've lost their parents, like that's all they ever want them to know is that they're happy with what they're doing in their life and they're happy that they're okay. And so I thought that was really poignant, and I thought it was really truthful. And so I was pretty moved by the moment. And so I was kind of disappointed that people were calling it out as being fake, because, you know, I don't think that Cely just spits that information out really easily. And I felt that how he took it in, dealt with it, didn't make her feel, you know, small about it, didn't tell her to not cry, let her fully have that experience, and gave really good advice. And I think he did make her feel special in that moment. I think that I feel that it has to be a real moment, because like he would be hated too much if that was all fake.
Oh, absolutely. And like I would never share that with someone unless I implicitly trusted them. You know what I mean? Like I mean, like in that situation, like in that vacuum, like I'm okay like talking about it obviously, but in that situation, I doubt that they even realize that there's cameras on them anymore. Like there's not someone standing there with a camera. It's like literally a camera in the distance. So, and who knows what's going to be aired? Like that was quite possibly just an actual conversation that they never expected to be aired. And yeah, so people need to chill.
I loved Cely and Justine in the change room, the girls' room, and they're like start dancing. It's like, this bitch just found in love, and like she's like, my best friends found in love in Love Island, or whatever it was. And then like you see Justine like start to break it down with her, and like I don't know, they're just so cute. I want to see them out at the club. Like they just
she told
together. I love it. And
Cely was like, "Oh, I can't believe like I'm here and I'm in this situation. And I told a boy I love him, and like, and then Justine was like, girl, I knew right away that you were gonna find love. I was like, hey, who wants to pick me?"
I know.
But it's funny that, and she's like, and then Caleb walked in. I don't know. It's just like their friendship too just seems so genuine, and like Cely is so humble with that. You know what I mean? She's like, no, stop it. And so I don't know. It's just I love Justine and Cely.
This bitch is found in love, and she's like, I love you. Oh, you're my best friend.
Yeah, it's the best friend for me.
Yes, I mean, I love best friendships between men or women. Like that's one of my favorite relationships to see grow, because it's like I know how I feel about my best friends, and so like I love seeing people find that. It's I don't know, it's so special. I love people connecting. I like that, and so
over an experience such as this too, like not many people in the world get to experience that.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I've always wanted to be on like say Survivor, be on like Big Brother, because not for being on the TV show. I want to play the game, and I want to make these social connections with people that I may have never met in my entire life, and that we're going to have an incredible bond no matter what. And I might meet somebody that's like a soulmate friend you know, in that environment.
Absolutely.
And like just to even like to reiterate that, like all the newer friends that I've made that are in my life now are people that I've met through reality television and games.
I know, literally like last night I spent hours with Nick playing Among Us with like Guy and a bunch of other people I just randomly met. And then like I talk every day on here with you. So it's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Big Brother Cheesecake for sure like saved my quarantine for me.
Oh my God, what would you be doing? Oh my gosh.
I literally can't hang out with anyone because of my job. So it's like you guys have literally occupied probably every hour of my day since March. But I'm not mad about it. I love you
Yeah,
all.
I know. It's just kind of like, what would you have done without cheesecake and reality realness? Like,
Literally, my roommate was like, "Do you have any plans today?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, a ton on my computer, talking to people in Canada."
oh, let's catch up on what's going on here. So Jaquan says, Vic, LOL, more than Connor did. I hope they don't come out talking about that dang toilet. Well, I saw that on the After the Island, it was in their description that they're going to talk about to their favorite couple or their mom and dad of the villa, Gus and the bidet, like was in their description title.
You're gonna die. Wait, I have to tell you before I forget. In Mackenzie's interview with After the Island, she said that they all got into astrology in the villa. Like they all got like super into it, and she said that her and Caleb are the perfect signs match-wise.
Aquarius and Leo are very good together.
No, he's Cancer and Leo.
What?
Connor is a Cancer.
You said Connor and Mackenzie?
Yeah.
That's
in her After the Island. No, that's why I was dying. And she was talking about like love, like how you. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. But like, I just want to see your face when she said that Cancer and Leo.
Caleb and her would be a better match. Johnny would be a better match.
She said Cancer and Leo. They're the soul. They're like the soulmates of the signs.
No matter what, signs beside each other are never the best.
I just want to see your face. We'll talk about
close. Like so. Like if you think about putting water and fire together, right? Yeah. What do you do with water? You put water on a fire to put out a fire. Yeah. Or if you make water hot with fire, you make water boil. So yes, they're able to work together within the elements, but it doesn't work for something good. So it's usually it's gonna like blow up and be like something volatile, which it was, or you're gonna damper the other person, and it's not gonna be allowed to grow. And so I think that within that relationship,
which it also was.
Exactly. So
no, I just thought it was hilarious that she said that. I was like, Chantele is gonna have
like who gave her that information? That's like actually
she was openly talking about it. Like she was like so like pushing it. You'll see.
There's like zero people in the world that would ever say that Cancer and Leo go well together. Cancer goes well with Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aries. That's pretty much it. They would be okay with Capricorn and Libra, but water signs and fire signs are the worst matches together.
Noted.
It's the worst. How many Aries have you liked?
I don't really know any Aries. Oh, not that I know of.
Or Sagittarius?
Sag. I know a few Sages. They're Sag is December, right?
Some part of December.
Yeah, so I know a few. A lot of my best friends are born in June.
Cody and Christmas are both Sagittarius. Put it out there.
Gross.
Nicole Franzel is a fucking Cancer.
Okay, but you know who else are Cancer? CT and Johnny Bananas.
Yeah, I know. I was always like, that makes sense. They are kind of emotional, but like they fake it by being extra masculine, but they are pretty emotional.
But I'm not down. But I'm not down.
You're not down. And so Jaquan's also a Cancer, but Cancer and Leo just don't really go together.
I know. I just thought you would have a good reaction, and you did. So
Vera says, how do you guys feel about Laken calling out Carrington? Oh yeah, we're just getting to that. So perfect. I liked it. I wish he actually did it a little bit more because I think he needs to have somebody tell him that like, hey, you're not that fucking hot. Like chill out, relax, like just calm your tits. Like,
except After the Island is obsessed with him. They think he's the hottest in the villa. They're like, I'm like, okay. I mean, that's totally their type, but yeah.
Well, it's because I don't like either of them really. I like Alex more than I like Elizabeth personally. I think that Elizabeth, I don't know. I really actually just don't like her, and I usually don't like her opinion, and I don't like how she kind of. Like Alex kind of wants to get things on track, and Elizabeth kind of is a little bit flighty about everything. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like they actually like each other that much. I think I don't know. There's something weird going on between them.
Yeah, I noticed like Elizabeth like will cut off Alex a lot and be like, wait. And then she's like, oh, sorry. She's like, it's okay, but wait. And I'm like, oh shit. All right.
Right? They have a weird dynamic, but I'm more interested in what Alex has to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it again. Like last night, I happened to watch. I couldn't sleep, so I watched the episode of them and Aaron, them and Mackenzie, them and Mike, and I rewatched the Mercedes one, and the Mercedes one is so bad if you rewatch it.
I don't want to rewatch it, but there was another one that I want to watch. That I think she was on Alana's.
So they filmed Connor and Mackenzie's together yesterday. So
I heard the clip of it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it should be up like today, but yeah. We shall see. But anyway, yeah, I was telling Chantele I couldn't figure out. I went back and forth in my head. Sorry, about Laken, whether or not I thought she was fake or whether or not she had good intentions, because I literally wrote down. Carrington. Oh no, that was Carrington and Laurel. She said you should be an actor, and then Laken says she's so glad that Carrington didn't pick her, and she's not hurt. She's just mad. That's a first. I always hear I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, but that's okay. And then he said I was sorry about leading you on, and then but I did like that she stuck up for Laurel. But that's the part where I can't. So I feel like I'm just like at this point #protect Laurel at all costs, because I think she is just a very sweet girl from what I see. So I liked that about it, but also I also have to we both have to remember that look at who's left in the villa. Like I think that's also another reason why no one was running to help Justine get dressed, because Laken doesn't know Justine. Moira is fucking Moira. Like who knows? And then Laurel isn't very close, clearly, to Justine or Cely. So there's only 5 girls left, and
Justine there. And if they already just did this, they're just like, why are we doing this again?
Yeah. So and that's why I think I was like, okay, it's kind of weird that that Laken's like clinging to Laurel now, but I think it's because she lost Julia, and Laurel lost Kirsten, and Moira is God knows where. So I think they just naturally are drawn together. But I did like in this conversation that she said you made Laurel like pretty much go to hell and back with, you know, her feelings. So
before that conversation happened, though, Laurel was in bed with Carrington, and he asks her like, "Are you happy?" And I think she said yes, and she's like, "Are you happy?" And he's like, mm-hmm. Like he doesn't even like say yes back. And I was like just annoyed by him. I was like, you know, like if you're gonna choose her, stop making her feel like you didn't want to choose her. Like, you know what I mean? Like then just why did you? Like I'm so done with Carrington.
He's pissed that there's that was the final recoupling. He's like wanting more girls to come in, honestly.
Probably. Hi, Ty. How are you? To be honest, I originally thought that the producers were going to just play the alleged hideaway scene that Caleb already had instead of putting the poll out, since that was the actual issue at hand. Absolutely. We are agreeing with you there, Ty. We feel as though we would have been better satisfied if they just showed us the footage that they never showed us, and then we could have made our poll decision based on what we had already seen.
Even if they showed it tomorrow. Like, I told Chantele, I was like, even if like they showed a clip of it tomorrow, I will
today.
Today. Sorry, is today Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Even if they showed a little clip of it, I'd be like, okay, you're learning, but they're not going to.
No. Scarlett says CP announced they've seen their biggest audience this season with yesterday's episode. I think we all know who to thank for that. Cough, cough. Caleb.
I can't post the link. Can you? It won't let me post it. It says it's too long. No matter which link I copy.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, just because I want these people to sign in.
Jake One says, LOL, LOL. She told Calvin she was waking them up early. Oh my God. That's okay. I didn't really remember her saying that. Brutal. Big Greg. Hi, Big Greg. How are you? LOL.
Hi, Big Greg.
I feel like I'm the only person in America who still doesn't think Carrington has done anything wrong since getting to the villa. He hasn't done anything wrong, but I just like don't like what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like wrong. Like, he did tell Laurel that like he wanted to see other people or whatever. He hasn't been fully transparent, I guess, but like it hasn't been that wrong. But I think that he should be making different decisions personally. But
he went wrong when he just kissed her without telling.
Challenge though. So the reason why I can say that like it's not that wrong is that it was. A lot of the rules were like, okay, well, if it happens in a challenge, like it doesn't really have to do with anything about your coupling.
Yeah, but he said he was going to sleep on it. Like, how would you feel if someone for 2.5 weeks you were coupled up with?
It's just like his actions aren't. Didn't do like the best thing.
Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, that's like the one thing I can think of that he's done wrong. I guess if I'm
not really that wrong. If you really look at like, oh, they had a challenge before he talked about the fact that he wanted to potentially.
That he would sleep on it, and then he told the boys and not her when he woke up. No, I just think I mean wrong in the sense of like disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. It's not something I would do. It's not something that I would be able to stand for for a friend or in a relationship. But if I can see how somebody cannot be offended by his actions.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Yeah, your reasoning is valid, Big Reg.
But I mean, I still think he's a shit, and like I think he's an asshole, and I think that his actions have proven that to me. But you know, all's fair in the villa, I guess we can always say, right? Jake says, "LOL, a guy's perspective, he did something wrong, but a girl's perspective would think that he did a lot of things wrong. I don't know what goes on in his mind and the advice he's getting from the others. Yeah, I don't know what advice he's getting because."
I literally, and honestly, Carrington has been pretty upfront and not loyal, honest about his feelings and his intentions. It was just that one scenario I can think of off the top of my head. And I mean, it's not like Laurel. I mean, he chose to go on a date with Mercedes over Laurel in Casa Amor, but I didn't think anything was wrong with that because you're making that decision to take someone back to the villa with you when you know that like your ex is there too. So it's like that I don't blame him for. It's just that one situation that I'm like, God damn it, Carrington. So
I also think though that we could also put everything under the umbrella that they're not even actually a couple. So like what rules are we placing on their interactions, right? Like they're still kind of just casually dating and seeing other people. So, but we are upholding him to the, like, we've been in a relationship for 6 months status. So I can also put that out there as well.
Because we like Laurel. If we didn't like Laurel, we wouldn't. Like, we don't give a shit about Calvin and Moira having 800 different partners. It's because we don't like them. We like Laurel, so we're like getting defensive, which is okay. But yeah.
Big Greg says, Jaquan, what exactly did he do wrong? Is Laurel is? I didn't even read that he said this. Isn't the
I didn't either.
He has every right to get to know anyone else he wants. Sorry, Big Greg, I didn't even read that you said that like yet. I was just finishing my thought, and so I totally get where you're coming from, and I do agree to a certain extent. I just feel that because we like Laurel, that we wish that he was being a little bit better of a human being towards her. Skylar says Johnny's sister put blame on Cely on Facebook during the Casa Amor return situation and said a week later, would you want an uneventful couple, Caleb, or a couple that went through something, Jelly?
See, now that makes me think, well,
I mean, her family is going to be supporting anything Johnny does, right?
But I wouldn't be making it seem like Johnny's doing it for our benefit as a viewer, like, because it's exciting. Why does she think that that's exciting for Cely to be destroyed? Like, we all love Cely.
They're saying that, that Cely didn't fix the situation quickly, and so that's why we're not happy with Johnny. Like, she didn't forgive him fast enough. But and then she's also saying that, you want somebody that's overcome something. So maybe he did talk about that with his family. Like, I don't know, maybe they planned that because that's something else that somebody, like, in After the Island podcast, I think it was, somebody else said that going through some adversity might be his tactic. But maybe it was somebody that read something about his sister. So I'm not sure.
Jesus, sit down.
Jaquan says, so we agree Johnny's innocent. LOL. Nah, but in a way he led most of the girls he led most of the girls he talked to on, but in the real world, both guys and girls, when they are single and have multiple options where I'm from.
I don't really think he led any of them on except for Laken, he did a bit. But Kirsten, he was very upfront with her. Laurel, he hinted at it. I think he should have handled it a little bit differently, but I don't think led on necessarily. Like, I think he's been that asshole because he's just so like callous and blunt about what he says and like no regard for their feelings. So I think, I don't know.
I don't know if this is the right space for you to say this out loud, Big Red, but I am going to read your comment. I don't know that I even like Caleb as a couple. I like Caleb and I like Justine, but I don't know if it's because of just how obsessed people are that turned me off or what. That's a good, that's an interesting thing. I find for myself as well, when people are trying to shove somebody down my throat or like, you know, oh, you got to see this movie, or like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, when people are like super hyped up about something, I'm always like, I'll watch it later. I don't know if I can watch it right now because there's too much hype around it. And then that could also be maybe why I hadn't been seeing a lot of their connection, because it's like people are like, you have to see their connection. It's like, well, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, it could be being defined.
No, I don't think that was why you didn't. I think you genuinely did it.
That could be partially like in my subconscious. Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
But I definitely get where you're coming from there.
I do too, but I guess that's why I don't agree with it. But everyone's different, I guess. I don't know. Because I'm like that also. Like, I don't give into the hype really. Like, I always like, even in Destiny's Child, like Kelly Rowland was my favorite, not Beyonce. Like,
at all.
You know what I mean? Annoying. Like, so it's just like I agree with I see where you're coming from, but I still with Chantele. I'm like, I'm so happy that she went from a 4 to an 8, but my God, I've wanted to shove it down her throat.
I don't see.
I know.
Beforehand, this is the only episode where I saw any sort of thing between them. So,
no, I know. I'm just saying.
Says that, and exactly, I've felt always dated around Jaquan. Everyone where I'm from does so. Showing interest in two girls isn't a big deal, but people think he's an asshole for it. I mean, I think it's the way that you present it to the people that are involved. If you kind of make it seem like they're the only person that you're speaking to, if you're saying my head's not going to be turned at Casa Amor, if you're like, I only have eyes for you, baby, nothing's going to shake this relationship that we're building here. And then you're like, well, like, actually, like, we have such a connection, like my head's turned. Like, it's just because of what.
Or if he gave her shit for Calvin, it's like he was being a hypocrite.
Hi, I just realized, I was telling Brazil the other day that I realized that your name is B Fly, Nick. I was always like, BF, Nick, so I'm going to call you B Fly from now on, or Nick.
She followed me on Twitter and she signed the petition this morning.
Aw, that's awesome. Well, thanks, Nick. LOL. Well, finally, I was like, finally that she's on today, or finally that I gave her an 8. Gave them an 8.
Finally that you're seeing the light.
Just hold up, though.
I know,
but no, I do like seeing that they're feeling more comfortable with each other.
Yeah,
because I like pretty much all of the people in the villa right now, but I don't think I really like any couple. But if I had to pick one to pick, I'd go Jelly. Jayla would get bored and end in a few months in the real world. Interesting. So one thing though that I am hesitant about, just with Jayla, is just that. You might be able to create a little bit of like passion or in the bubble that you're in. I'm just curious if sustainability will be outside the villa. I know they've been talking about very serious things, but they are also in like a bubble where everything's intensified. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't able to sustain this commitment or this connection outside of the villa, but I would like them to.
I feel like if they lived near each other, they could potentially lose that, like, that like mystique factor that they have going on. Like, they're both like figuring each other out. But because I think that they will be doing long distance for a while. Huh?
Do you remember where they're from or no?
Yeah, he's born and raised in Oklahoma, and she's in New Jersey. So they're not too far. I mean, they're closer than me in New Jersey, but I think that they're like Caleb talks about his little sisters. Like he said, I can't even imagine the fact that like your sisters are older than you. And she's like, yeah, like all your sisters' ages are like my nieces and nephews. So I think that like he's not going to leave Oklahoma, and I don't think she's going to up and leave New Jersey for Oklahoma. So I think that them being long distance, at least in my mind, that would keep a little like fun to it. Like, oh, I'm going to go stay with him for like a week, and then I have to go back home to my real life. And so I don't know. I think we'll see. But that's I don't think they'll get bored because I don't see them
being
moving.
But that's what I'm saying. They're going to really want to really put in all the effort for the long distance. I'm not sure if they do, great, but I'm not sure if the connection that they have is enough to. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to translate outside of the world.
I just feel like they'll miss each other so much because they're in that bubble. Don't you think? Possibly.
I mean, maybe.
I feel like they're all going to go through like withdrawals from each other. Like Cely and Justine are.
I mean, they'll be on FaceTime with each other every day. I picture.
Yeah. But it's like, dude, they're spending 24 hours a day together for the last 6 weeks. Like,
Jaquan says, yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I can see that they have better chemistry. It came after actually Casa More, at least more real than Moira and Calvin's situation. Well, I actually didn't mind them in the pool floaty situation, like the pool floats when they were both kind of chatting there.
So, with the straw.
Straw? I don't remember.
Was it the after pool party? I literally wrote down what the fuck.
No. So one thing we haven't talked about yet is like the poll. So the poll happened. We talked briefly before in here about Moira getting the most two-faced. We talked about that a little bit. I do think she's two-faced though, with how I mean, it might not be the right word, but I understand why people voted for most two-faced because of how she's treated the other girls in the villa when a new guy came in.
Well, remember what I sent you last night? How in the poll, sorry, I thought you said pool, but in the poll,
for Moira and Calvin, but that was after the poll.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Floaties, and he's like he wanted the Superman kiss.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I was like Canadian accent. But I'm just kidding. They in the poll on the app, everyone voted that the girls' rankings were like not good. And I'm just wondering how that's the case because the same people voted those results.
Well, I mean, who else would have gotten most two-faced?
Exactly. Like other than like Laken possibly, but I think honestly the Aaron situation, you had been saying it prior to the Aaron situation. You've been saying she's kind of a frenemy, but I really, really saw it come through in the Aaron and Kirsten talk. And then again
too, I was listening to this other woman yesterday, and she's like, she was going on. She's like, Moira's two-faced. Look how she's always going up on every girl's.
Can you guys still hear me? Uh-oh. Jaquan, can you hear me? Or is it just Chantele that's frozen? Sorry, I just want to see if someone can hear me before I continue. But yeah, I guess we'll go through the list. Oh, you can hear me? Okay, cool. Thank you. So for the Fire and Ice Challenge, for the boys, tell me if any of you disagree with the rankings that America gave. And I'll try to do my best to remember what the Islanders gave each other, but I just wrote down what America voted because that's kind of what matters. So least fake boy, we have Caleb. Obviously, I voted that way. Let me know if you guys did too. And then the most fake, Carrington. I don't think that's really a surprise.
Can you not hear me?
Oh no, girl, you.
No, I know, but like I'm just asking what's happened. So it completely shut me out. I'm like, were you able to stay there that whole time?
Oh yeah. I was asking if they could hear me, and then they did, and then so I just started to go
that part, and so then it kicked me out right after you said, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" And then both the screens went black, and then it kicked me completely out, and then I had to like re-enter, which is interesting. Okay, I don't know why that happened. I've never seen that before, but now we know at least somebody. It doesn't kick both of us out, which is good.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I was like, I don't know if I should continue if they can't hear me. But yeah, so I was just going through the list of the boys. I don't know if I couldn't hear you until you said, "Can you hear me?" like 10 seconds ago. But I was just going through the list. I only wrote down what America voted for. I didn't write down how the Islanders arranged themselves. So maybe if you could.
There. So yeah, I did the same thing, but go for it.
Yeah, so I said least fake America voted Caleb, obviously, and most fake Carrington. I think we were all in agreement on that. Best boyfriend, America voted Caleb, but I believe that the Islanders put Johnny first, if I'm not mistaken. And then worst boyfriend, Carrington. The guy best friend, the person that the America wants to be best friends with guy-wise was Caleb, and the least was Bennett, which makes sense. He's newest to the villa. You know, no one, I don't know if there's any Summer Rae stands out there, but maybe that's why. And oh my God, I'm dead. Look at what I have written down for, I have like the conversion for the Hertz to Pete's friend. So the girls who ended up winning the challenge, the best girlfriend, I think the boys voted Cely, but America voted Justine. And then the boys voted, okay, this one confused me. The boys voted Laurel to be the worst girlfriend, but America voted Laken. Why do you think that the boys voted Laurel to be the worst girlfriend? That kind of shocked me.
I mean, I don't feel like the boys were actually being serious with their votes.
No.
Because like they put as Justine originally as most Two-Face. And so I was like, you know, I think that they were just putting things that were just completely untrue so that they wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings for what they actually felt.
And I think Laken was pretty much in the bottom
like,
a lot. So they were like, well, let's rearrange someone other than Laken last. Oh, that makes sense.
That's the only reason I can think, because I haven't seen what she's seen, or they've like, I don't see what they're seeing to be able to do that, other than them just kind of going willy-nilly and not wanting anybody to take anything too seriously.
No, that actually makes sense. I was just like, what? They were all like being there for her. Johnny blew up a whole ass floaty for her because he felt bad. So that makes sense. And then yeah, so most Two-Face, I think Justine is like the perfect sport to do it. Like Caleb's like, she got 5 faces, or he said something like that. And then the least, so America voted the most Two-Face, obviously Moira. She immediately started crying.
I mean, it's her.
I think it hurts, but to me, I feel like I wouldn't, unless I felt some sort of guilt for like one action, I don't think I'd have that emotional response that immediate. Like it was.
I think that she probably like was just thinking like, oh my God, like I thought I was doing things for myself and like, you know, like playing the rules like they want me to do in here, but people don't like me because of it. And well, it's true. Like I don't like how she's doing it. Like she could have easily have pursued any of the men that she's dated within the villa other than James, and other than I guess Jalen. I mean, I'm sure if Jalen was into Mackenzie first, she would have been gone after Jalen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that she only likes what's not hers in a weird way.
And she even said when the new girls walked in, she's like, a little bit of competition lights a fire under my ass, and I'm like back in the game. And it's like, it's true. Every time someone, I think it typically was always between either like Kirsten and Mackenzie, but like whenever there was like one in question, she would be in the game. And she only started making out with Calvin again because the new girls came in. So it's like I don't think Two-Face is the right one. I would say fakest maybe.
Well, I think Two-Face because she's just not genuine. I think that's right. Kind of what, you know, she doesn't fully say what she means to the girl. I don't know. It's not the perfect word, but it's still her that fits the most, in my opinion. Sorry, I'm behind Chantele, but we love to see it. I knew you'd come around. LOL. Yeah, Well, it's like 6 months after. What's wrong?
Oh no, I just thought I hope we get to see more of, maybe because we did vote for Moira, like a lot of the negative ones, not negative, but like who else am I going to vote for other than Laken? So I wonder if we'll see it in like tonight's episode, more of the, because that, if that was like the third one she got that was like kind of negative, I could see her being like,
I think there was more, because it's they said like, you know, we don't think you're two-faced, and like, and they're like, oh, and the other ones, like, so I think that there was more stuff that that she received that were not favorable. I'm assuming, because I did vote for her for a lot of the, but she was the only one that I felt fit it.
Her and Laken, yeah.
So Big Reg says, I don't think that they have chemistry. I think they're both great people, so everyone loves them. But because we see how great they are, they both are. I don't know. You can only have serious you can't only have serious combos all day. Big Red, I know what you're going through. I feel you. I definitely, up until seeing them in the Hideaway, felt this about them. Through the Hideaway, I felt like they were able to be themselves a little bit more, and I felt like there was a film of like that. The lack of chemistry was kind of relieved a little bit. I haven't felt like the itchy hearts, you know, like flutters when I've watched them interact, but I do feel that there's more energy that's passing between them. So I feel as though their chemistry is elevated. I was saying from 4 to about an 8, but I definitely can understand what you were thinking of here with them wanting to be in a relationship, and us wanting them to be in a happy relationship, that we might be projecting a little bit onto this scenario. So I hear you. But don't say that too loud to Brazil.
To who?
Jaquan says the only show is what they only show us what they want to show us. For example, Bennett and Laken connection. I know that was another thing. I was just like, cut out of here. Like, you don't even know each other. Like, you don't like each other. You don't need to be. They're fiddling with each other's hands, right? I don't know. I was just like, I don't.
Yeah. They were like holding hands. That was like one of the poll questions. Whose hand is this? I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Jaquan says, Ty, I agree with you. I lost a lot of people to cancer. The only one I knew that passed it was my grandfather. What did Ty say though?
I think it was when we're a little behind, but we were talking about Cely's conversation.
I'm sorry that you've had to experience that, Jaquan. Ty says it's okay. Sorry, I was reading the comment, but he posted it or it went out of order. So Ty says, as someone who has a mom who has passed away from cancer, that it's not something that you just drop in a conversation unless you felt some type of trust with this person at this adult age. And we totally, you saw us boo-hooing over here. Like, we totally agree with that. I don't think that it was an easy conversation for her to have. Mm-hmm. And you know, it is something that definitely defines her. So I just like, you know, how would these people want to express? Like, I think we need to stop placing judgments on how people are expressing themselves, mm-hmm. because, you know, they're there for our entertainment. So they should do this way and this that way for our entertainment. And, you know, they still are human beings having their own life experience that have lived a life that is completely different than either of ours, any of ours. And so let's just watch their experience and learn from it and understand, like, that's how this person reacts from their upbringing, from this part of the world, and just a little more empathy, you know? Because I don't want to be mad at somebody that felt compelled to share something that's really personal with them. You know what I mean?
And we're exactly what Ty is saying. You don't just do that. Like, and again, unless you literally have zero feelings, but that's not the case. So I think people need to be a little bit more
compassionate. Yeah,
of course. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys.
Like, and you can see in Cely's face that she didn't really want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
No, and I mean, look at how long she's waited to talk about it. And like if a day is a week in the villa, then she'd be waiting, 6 months to talk about it? Like, I mean, I think in the real world, they would have talked about it, not on camera, but being on camera, mm-hmm. You know, you're already, yeah.
Lily says, Cely is so cute and strong. Love her. I can tell she's a genuine, lovely person. And that's what I feel about her too. Like, a lot of people are coming for her. Even our friend Murad, that does the recaps. Like, he's like, her and like him, and like he doesn't like Cely anymore, and she's too loud, and she just doesn't like her anymore. And
I think his caption was, "I'm annoyed."
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I mean, the only thing that I found of her that was super annoying was the pots and pans.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got over it pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like, and so did the Islanders. Like, Justine tackled her, and like it was done. You know, like sorry, I suck. I'm really annoying. But Johnny didn't fully forgive her. He said, like, you were kind of loud in a big villa. Like, I don't know how you're gonna be kind of loud in a small space. And she's like, is that a problem?
He's like, no, I'm here for it, babe. I'm here.
So neat.
Yeah, I love her, and that's what we need to remember. You might hate your best friend's boyfriend, but you don't leave your best friend. And Cely's not her best friend, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. So Ty says, thank you for sharing that, Jaquan. I'm sorry for your loss too. I mean, big hearts to everybody that has had family passed away. We know that it can be a really difficult experience to have, and then also, you know, difficult for people to share. I've been there when really close friends of mine have found out that their parents have passed away, and it's a lot to witness somebody experiencing and being there for them, and like it's a lot. And so I know for a fact that it was a difficult decision for Cely to make, even to say that out loud, especially since she's always wants to come across as being strong. And so, you know, I'm only going to support her feeling comfortable and confident in that relationship to want to share that with them, because, you know, people go through a lot, and I don't take that lightly that she wanted to share that with him. So, Hi, I'm sorry for your loss as well. Hearts. Jaquan said, I could relate to Johnny in the Benny situation, because a girl I went out with was friends with her ex, and her best friends liked her and would follow us everywhere. So I see where he was coming from.
Jaquan,
I don't know if I can go with you down this train. Like this
we gotta have a talk, my dude.
Well, listen, Jaquan, I think that he was only reacting that way with Benny because he was feeling guilty and a type of way about what he did in Casa Amor. And I don't think that he wanted to see Cely maybe go as far as he did with somebody else right in front of him in the villa. Even though Cely would never do that, I think he was projecting what he did onto Cely, and that's why he reacted in such such an aggressive kind of way. Like I didn't like how manipulative,
insecure, aggressive, manipulative.
A good look. And you know, they always say, like, when someone's cheating, they always blame somebody else for cheating, is because their guilt is going to be projected onto the other person. And so I feel that this whole situation was a projection of his guilt, and that it wasn't actually just Benny and Cely going on a date in front of them, like on the corner, like it's like corner of the villa. Like it's not like they went somewhere special. Like you can see them. Well, if you get on Carrington's shoulders, but like, you know, you get what I'm saying. Do you have anything to add?
No, we've talked about that a fair amount. Yeah, I think he was absolutely projecting.
Jaquan says, you are welcome. And so sorry for your loss too. Keep your head up, 100%. And Ty says,
keeping on.
Romance is happening in the chat room.
Now Jaquan can get over Johnny and be bros with Ty.
We never know what people are going through, so we have to stay positive. Absolutely. And, you know, Cely might even been sharing everything, you know, like, and I don't think that she has to or needs to, like, for us to, I don't know. I'm just tired of people getting on her about everything now.
Yeah.
Anna says, I think that after the island, like Carrington, because everyone they have interviewed. Oh, okay. I think after the island likes Carrington because everyone they have interviewed hypes him up. But yeah, I feel Alex asks better question, 100%.
Yeah, they were just talking about him being the hottest when they were going through their polls. They were like, oh my God, Carrington's so hot. Like, I was like, what?
But like, I don't think Zach is hot either. So there you go.
I don't either. Yeah.
Hi, Alyssa. Nice to meet you. So Connor just confirmed that Caleb went on a hideaway back to back, he got a text the first time around.
Oh my God. They probably asked him about that on After the Island. Because they were talking a lot about that to
So this was like way back?
Well, Connor just, I mean, yeah, I think their hideaway would have been probably right before Connor. Well, yeah, because it was if Noah was there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so holy shit. So we're right.
God.
So we're right. We're right. I guarantee you, none of the Islanders know that America doesn't know that they already got a hideaway. So that's why they're reacting that way. I would too. I'd be like, damn, like, what am I doing wrong?
Wow, thanks for the tea, Alyssa. Where did you see this interview, or where did he confirm this? I would
just
love
now. She said just now. Was it on After the Island with Mackenzie in that interview?
Wow. Courtney, hi Courtney, nice to meet you. Carrington is doing this for the votes. That's why he stayed with Laura. I think he felt as though he had the best chance of maybe winning. It's not happening, but maybe winning if he stayed with Laurel. There was zero chance he was going to win if he stayed with Laken, and he probably did hope. Well, he encouraged Bennett to keep Laken, and I think it was maybe self-serving.
Yes. And I think everyone's seeing through it because he literally is acting so uninterested in Laurel.
So tacky. Gosh. Jaquan says, LOL, the beehive is going to come for you, Brazil nut.
Honestly, Jaquan, I so regret ever telling you.
It's so cute. Skylar says, I feel like anyone that... welcome back. I feel like any time... Okay, what is that? Yeah, no, I saw the beginning clip already of that.
Oh, well, I think that's probably where it came out. Sorry.
Yeah, that dropped a couple hours ago. I haven't watched it yet. Obviously, I'm going to watch it after this, most likely. So Scott says, I feel like anytime the preview tries to display something, the opposite happens. So I think that Justine's parents will like Caleb. Oh, did it seem like that?
She started crying about her family. I think personally, this kind of, I think she's nervous about them seeing the second hideaway because maybe she is guilty that they kind of went a bit farther. So I think she's kind of because I think what she said is that her parents are going to be disappointed in her. I don't think it had anything to do with Caleb. I could be wrong though. All I heard was that she was nervous that her parents are going to be disappointed in her, which she's brought up before. But if it's
pointed about Caleb, I think it's just like how she's maybe being a little bit too provocative on a TV show where she's in a bikini half the time. So I think that's probably she's probably more conservative and is worried about the conservative parents and learning that she's a go-go dancer and whatnot. Did you love her teaching the dance class?
Yeah, she's like, ladies, listen to me. Men, listen to my man. I was like, oh my, and then she starts twerking. Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
When she's twerking, like he was taking it. I was like, that
was just like
that action happened. I felt like he was strong in his feet, like he could handle it. So
she threw it back too.
That would she wasn't being gentle, we'll say. She was being pretty full on. So I mean, that also implies that maybe a little hideaway action has happened. Not necessarily that they've gone out of the way, but like they kind of got a little bit of sexual energy built up between them a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
At that point, anyways.
I'm here for it. They will have very cute babies if they decide to do that one day.
We would have very cute babies. Mary says, I'm sick of the overcoming adversity crap. Oh, dear. Mary. Caleb was tempted to in Casamore, but chose not to go buck wild. True, but like honestly, Mercedes really, really came on strong, I found. And if someone did that to me, like I say, another girl came on like that to me, and I was 22 and didn't really care in that moment, I can see it happening. Should Caleb have done more so Jaleb would have an overcome adversity? I know, Mercedes. I mean, I don't think that the overcoming adversity is a great angle. Like, I don't care for it. It doesn't entice me to want to vote for them more.
I think Justine and Caleb are overcoming adversity just by not understanding each other like Johnny and Cely do initially. Like, that's what Chantele is obsessed with, is the effortless, like, you know, like spark and attraction that Johnny and Cely have had from the get-go, whereas Caleb and Justine are a slow burn and trying to figure it out along the way. So in my head, I think that is adversity, but a different kind of adversity. So
I also think that if they're in the real world, though, they might not have put in the effort between each other. But I think that in this,
right. But like you said, you go in these situations, and then it's like, you know, you meet your soulmate, or you meet someone that.
I think that's the path for them. Unfortunately,
I was just trying to use your words against you. Oh, I'm looking on the Twitter hashtag because Alyssa told me to go on the Twitter hashtag to look for Connor's text. So
when he could still hear you. Okay. The one thing I did not like about the ranking challenge were that they didn't see the order who was in the middle. I know. I wanted to hear the actual order of everything. Maybe they'll show that more on the unseen bits tonight. Mary's saying that Justine said that she didn't have a problem relocating. Wow, that's a lot. Where is he from again?
Oklahoma.
Jaquan hears you. Okay, so you were heard. I wasn't heard, I guess. But I could hear you. It was really
because you were frozen, like completely frozen for like maybe 30 seconds, and then I was like, wait, can you guys hear me? And then once they said yeah, I just like started going.
No. So I could hear you saying that, and then both of my screens here were black, and it just had like that spinning circle.
Oh, so strange. Yeah, because then you eventually just disappeared. I was like, okay, here we go. And then
and then I did disappear, and then it's asked if I wanted to reconnect to the broadcast, and so I went.
Yeah, it made such a weird sound right when you froze. It was like I don't know, like a notification sound. It was like did it, and then you just like froze, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I don't know.
I want to see what it looks like when we play it back.
Yeah, you'll see. My face probably looked like pure terror. I was like, oh god, what do I do? I tried.
Couples would last, but I think that Jayla would at least try, and that's all you can ask for. 100%, Lily. And Brazil, you would have been just fine. Just read your notes. You answer the questions in the chat. You would have been a-okay.
Oh, I know. I just went into full panic because, like, when that happened, we were doing Big Brother. Nick was like, "Okay, I'll take over," and I was like, "Oh, thank God, Nick's here." Because, like, I don't know. This is my first like podcast, but whoo. It was stressful.
She heard. Yeah, it's me. I know. I'm back though. I'm back. I think all the rankings were pretty spot on, maybe except for Carrington being the fakest. But even then, I kind of agree with that, with him too, or Bennett. I agree. I wasn't. I know people are kind of up in arms about these rankings, but like I agree with them all personally. Tony says, we say hi yet, Tony? Hi, Tony. How are you? Oh, I read your comment back. So Tony left a couple of messages on our yesterday's podcast, was talking about her husband doesn't necessarily think that Johnny is being honest and truthful, and that he sees right through him and thinks that he's fake and playing a game. And so we kind of had a little bit of a little comment chat on yesterday's video. So hi, Tony. Nice to see you be able to catch us live. I know it's the weekend and you work during the week, so you aren't able to hang out with us. So nice to see you here. So Tony says that Cely wasn't happy for Justine because she and Johnny feel like they are the power couple. This is America's first vote. I'm a bit confused at your point.
Whose point?
Well, I guess the point that they already had the Hideaway. I don't know. I'll just reiterate it again. So what we believe, it's been confirmed by, sorry, who was it in the chat?
Alyssa.
Confirmed by Alyssa in the chat that Connor mentioned that Justine and Caleb had already had a Hideaway date. We did already see footage of them going to the Hideaway with Justine with her hair in a top bun and like the big, like pretty earrings. And so we were hoping that we just at least see that footage, but then they're trying to fake out the audience here and be like, hey, we're giving them the Hideaway. And so I feel, and Brazil I think feels this way too, is that they just had a hideaway that the islanders just voted into, which was Justine and Cely or Caleb, and then America is voting them in again. So it's the fact that it happened twice in a row.
And I don't think they do not know that we haven't seen their first hideaway.
So I think they're confused.
Mm-hmm.
Anna says, yeah, I think Justine was only put there because she could take it.
In regards to the ranking.
Yeah. Anna says, Moira is always crying. I'm over it. Her and Calvin are growing on me, though. Okay, I agree. So I really liked after that when she went upstairs, she was talking to the girls and crying a bit, and then she went upstairs and sat by herself and was crying a bit. And I liked when Calvin came up and he was like, you know, lions, and he was talking about lions don't like whatever for sheep and like, you know, shake it out of her a little bit. I thought that was cute. I thought it was kind. I didn't think that he needed to do that necessarily. You know, had done that for Mackenzie. You know what I mean?
Can we jump, since we're talking about Calvin and Moira? When he makes her breakfast, I think the next day, and he asked Moira, "Do you want kids?" And she says, "I want 3 kids. I want a boy and a girl." He's like, "Okay, that's 2." And then he asked her after she explained herself, "Do you think you could raise them?"
I didn't hear that.
I literally put in quotes, "Do you think you could raise them?" I'm like, what the fuck? You just asked her if she wanted kids, and then he said, "Do you think you could raise them?"
Oh, I think that he probably like more so acted like, "Do you think you'd be a good mom?"
I mean, but like, what?
It's awkward. It's awkward.
You can't hold a gun to my head and convince me that Moira and Calvin are cute.
I don't know if they're cute, but I liked them in the pool floaties and like the upside down kiss, and you know,
I don't even remember that.
It was cute. I remember just trying to like, she's like, "Can I get a kiss for that?" He said something a little nice and heartwarming, and then like they're trying to get it so they can kiss without like knocking their microphone in the water. So they're trying to do it, and then he spun it around, and so like, okay, well, I'll take a Spider-Man kiss. And then he dunked his whole head in the water. No, okay. Well, that's a cute moment.
Shit. I did write down like his what the F moment during the pool party with him and the straw and him trying to get the straw in the cup and like
I didn't notice that either. Hilarious.
It was a poll question too. They were like, what was Calvin doing? And it was like, Calvin's just Calvin, or like, I don't know. But it was odd.
Nice to meet you. So someone posted on Reddit an Instagram DM from Connor confirming Caleb had back-to-back hideaways. Okay.
I didn't see it on Twitter, so I'm going to go to Reddit.
That makes a lot of sense. It goes with the sentiments as to why people were just kind of like, what? Like, why are they getting another hideaway? We just voted them into the hideaway. Like, I can understand people just trying to figure that out. And we talked about it before, but I'll just say it again. That could be also why Justine didn't want all the girls to come help her out, because she didn't want to be rubbing salt into the wound of people being jealous that they're getting back-to-back hideaways.
Agreed.
And being selfless like that. So I can understand and be like, it's okay, guys. Like, we know we just had the hideaway. Like, I don't need you to help me this time. It's okay. Lily says, Moira was kind of milking the tears. It wasn't that serious. She's never been in the bottom, so it was a little much, LOL. I agree. I don't really care for Moira, obviously. I'm happy that Calvin tried to make her feel better, but I think that she was only crying because she knows that there's a hint of truth in it. Jaquan says, LOL, at this point, I would give Bennett and Laken a vote to get Moira to go home. Stop your noise. Lily says, I like Calvin now. He's sweet. Uh-oh. People are loving Calvin again. Jaquan says, Moira had those tears on standby dead. Jaquan, you're so funny. Deja says, we actually like Justine as an individual and we like Caleb as an individual, so we like them even more together, but not too many people like Johnny on his own as much as we like Cely. Agreed. I definitely think that Johnny ruined all of his credibility and potential of being equally as likable as, say, Caleb by his antics at Casa Amor and then how he interacted with Cely when he got back. I think he lost all clout there.
I can't find it on Reddit either.
Yeah, cool. She also said, No, he DM'd somebody. Okay, so somebody must have.
I can't find it. If any of them can.
I'll find it after this. I don't know if I can find it right now. Hi, Sheree. How are you? So, hi. I don't get why Moira was so pressed about one question when others got more hateful stuff and they just laugh it off, because I think she feels like there's some truth to it. And
I think she got more questions that we didn't see.
That's true too. I think she got a couple other unfavorable questions that we didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Jaquan says, I think that the only people that have problems with meeting the parents are Johnny and Carrington. I just hope that they don't have Bennett and Laken's parents, because it's too early for them and a waste of screen time. I mean, unless they do a dumping before the parents come, or like the parents Zoom call, I think that Laken and Bennett they're gonna have a Zoom call.
So potentially just there could be only 4 couples at the end. Okay.
There might be only 4 at the finale. They might just get rid of a couple before that.
Yeah. True.
Ty says, LOL, I'm a woman. Okay, sorry, Ty. You called me a he a couple of times.
Oh, sorry.
Tatiana. Beautiful name. I'm sorry, Ty.
I'm sorry. Guilty.
Mispronoun you. I will say she from now on. Thank you for correcting me. I'm sorry if I offended you.
But I did too. Yeah, that's happened to us a few times.
Chiquan says, have faith in yourself. Brazil, you can do anything you put your mind to. What's that over?
Wow, Jaquan's being nice to me today. Because I said I panicked when you went rogue.
That's cute. Lily says, Luke and Bennett just need to go. It makes 0 sense for them to be in the villa. Oh, Lake. I thought it said Luke. Okay. Laken and Bennett just need to go. Makes no sense for them to be in the villa when they just got coupled up. There's no possibility for them to be serious about each other this soon. 100%. That's why I thought it was kind of dumb that they had a recoupling so late in the game. It's like, Jaquan says Mackenzie's just trying to make Johnny look bad, talking about he wanted her. Oh, saying that he was jealous of Connor. I don't see that at all, to be honest. Are you hearing this, Brazil?
Yeah.
When they were even the power couple.
I mean, I can see his competitive nature, but I also think that it wasn't just Johnny. I think Johnny just like completely gave up on like making an effort with Mackenzie because he probably didn't see the point in it, whereas Carrington's fake as fuck, and Carrington was like still trying to be friends with her, but he was also the one trying to break up their conversation constantly. So,
but do you think that Johnny was mad, jealous that she was with Connor over him? And
no, not over him. No, I thought he meant like that.
Oh,
jealous that Mackenzie and Connor could potentially be the power couple over him and Cely.
Well, okay, no. Well, I think you have half of it. So Mackenzie just trying to make Johnny look bad, talking about how he wanted her and saying he was jealous of Connor and her relationship when they were the power couple. So I don't think that Johnny wanted Mackenzie at all. I don't think that. I mean, I don't think so. I'll just say no.
No.
Sorry, Mackenzie. Like, not here for that. Sheree says, I feel like they need to cast more older people absolutely in the future seasons, 100%. Most of the people here, like Carrington, seem more career-minded and focused on surviving. Absolutely. Which makes sense since they're so young, 100%. Like, I have done so much living since I was 21 to 25 even. 21 to 30, I lived in like 2 different places. Like I've like worked a bunch of different jobs, went to school. Like there's just so much stuff that happens that I don't know why somebody 22 wants to go on a dating show. Even The Bachelor, I'm just like, why do you want to go find your life partner at 22? It's like
even Mike said in an exit interview that all the girls were thrilled when they all said their ages.
I know.
Anna, of course, with the T, she sent me the text. So someone DM'd Connor saying, "Hi Connor, hope all's well with you and Mackenzie. I just wanted to ask a question coming from the whole Caleb Nation that we are dying to know. Did Justine and Caleb have a hideaway before you left the villa? Because there has been a lot of speculation. Hope you can answer." Yes, they did. They went twice back to back, and I got the text the first time. Not sure if they showed the first time.
He got the text. So that's what you meant by that. So he was like, I got a text.
So, I know people were saying that potentially Noah had the text and that's why it was cut out. But now that Connor got the text, CBS is really fucked. What excuse is there now? None. Zero. Ooh, Connor, man, I wonder if Connor is that like going against his contract at all? Do you think? I don't know how they work, but
he knows that it was like a bad, like it's like he's just talking about his experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I know after the island they said there's certain things that they can't talk about, so I didn't know like what that entails. Maybe
I mean,
like,
yeah, I'm sure that there are things that he can't talk about, but I don't think that
would be one of them.
Hey, make sure that you don't talk about the Hideaway that we didn't air on the show.
Well,
like, would be fucked up.
Tinfoil hat.
They can't say that. Like, there's no way that they can say that. They could probably just hope that that does. Like, they're fucked. Idiots. Jaquan says, LOL, it's not real beef. We just having debates. Yes, Jaquan. Lily says, Johnny just seems like a big personality. Either you like it or you don't. I like it. I don't like him cheating, but his vibe, I'm into his vibe, to be fair. Sorry.
As long as he don't touch your sunglasses ever again, then I might give him a second chance.
No, I'd probably knock him if somebody did that. You know what I mean? Like, like my natural reaction. Yeah. Never speak to them again, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Deja says Mackenzie said that on her interview that he was interested in getting to know her and they had conversations that they didn't show. In the beginning, yeah, he had to talk to everybody because he was going to steal somebody's girl.
Yeah, he was single. And I could see Mackenzie taking that as like, and even the guy, the dating expert, when he was reviewing it, he said that he went for Cely first because he's most interested in Cely. So then, but he can't just only talk to Cely. He talked to Moira. He talked to, oh God, Justine. He talked to everyone. So, but I could see how Mackenzie could take that.
Well, she wants to be center attention. She's a Leo. Anna says, sorry, won't let me send things to Chantele, and I don't want to flood my timeline with Love Island US. I wonder why.
Maybe because I don't know. I don't know a lot about Twitter.
Me really neither, but like people can send me stuff.
Are you public? Is your thing public?
I mean, I don't remember ever making it private. People just add me and then send it to me. I don't know.
Thanks, Anna, though. I appreciate you. Always with the tea, girl.
We always have the tea. Thank you. And then we have Jaquan saying, I agree with you. He's confident in himself. Besides that one time at Catch Your More, he's the alpha male that Carrington claimed he was. True that. So anything else go on in this episode? Oh, okay. Sorry. One thing we didn't really talk about. We talked about Carrington being a bit of a dick, but about when they're having a conversation with Laurel, and Laurel was like, you know, what do you see happening after? And he's like, well, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend, and like we're gonna be living in separate areas, and like so, you know, you could see people like start seeing other people, or I could start seeing other people, like because we're not together, but like, you know, just keep in mind that the other person. I was like, you basically said that you're broken up.
She's like, well, would you want to come to Alabama? And I was like, oh my God, Laurel. She's just so caught up in it. And poor girl. He's being a total douchebag right now.
But he was kind of nice when he gave the hug to Moira after, like when she came back. I think it was when she came back down with Calvin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think
I did write that down.
So he did something nice to
I think maybe he's just like Laken shook him with like leading people on, so maybe he's like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking put it all out there.
I did write down that Caleb says that he found the girl of his dreams, and that's something I've always wanted someone to say to me. So like that's really beautiful. I like that.
So I sent you this picture, but you guys, during the pool party, Moira literally says, I didn't think I was this happy until I met you. And I'm not kidding. This was her exact face when she said it. And I just don't understand.
Oh, but she always says that. Like, I think it's just that she doesn't used to wearing fake lashes.
If someone said, I didn't think I was happy till I met you with like that, I'd be like, the fuck? Okay.
I don't know. She just always does that. I
wrote down Calvin with his fucking straw. I cannot.
I love Justine and Caleb in their joint confessional. I thought that was cute. I like that. The song that they're playing was so. Did you hear it?
I don't remember it.
I need to find it because it's so like, it's so sexy, you know?
For when they were in the hideaway, or like when they were doing the montage at the end?
When they got into the hideaway.
Mm.
Hold on, let's get this for you guys. Can you hear it at all?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I loved it. Because I always have subtitles on, and so when I was reading the lyrics, I was like, oh, this is a good song for that.
So like slow jam.
Get it, girl. Get it, girl.
That was so good, though. I was like, okay, what are we gonna put on from Mr. Caleb and Mr. Justine and Caleb? Okay, let's hear this song. I thought it was good. So it's called "I Found You" by James Bay, which was cool. Yes, I was happy that America voted into the Hideaway. I wish that they just had got the Hideaway the first time, or they just showed us that stuff, but they didn't. It's fine. But I think that he was hiding a little indication that he was turned on when he came out of the bathroom because he was kind of huddled over, and I thought that was kind of a cute, funny moment. It was an honest moment, we'll say.
I'm here for it.
Like a gazillion things. Hold on. I was caught up for a second. I don't have anything else written down. Do you have anything else written down?
I do not.
Here we are, I think. Cely says, who wins in the end? Predict the order. I think it's going to be Justine and Caleb. I think second place will still go to Cely and Johnny. I think third place will go to Moira and Calvin, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. And then Carrington and Laurel, because he's just acting like such a dick that I don't know if anybody's going to vote for them.
Nope.
And then last place would be Bennett and Laken.
I concur.
The third and fourth, it could be interchangeable, in my opinion.
Like, who effing cares, honestly?
And the only reason why I think first and second would be interchangeable is if CBS does some fancy footwork.
Oh, Jesus.
Hi, it's I guess Zarla. It's Zarla. Hi, Zarla. Did Johnny win anything in the polls? We're not fully sure, so we're gonna watch maybe tonight the behind the scenes, the unseen bits, to see if there were more polls, because he wasn't in the top for anything. It was always Caleb, I would say, for the top. I don't remember them all though.
The boys put him first when they initially rearranged for who would be the best boyfriend, but from what they showed us, America didn't vote him first for anything. But they only gave 4 questions per gender, so. And there was 30.
I know, right? Yeah, I hope they do all of them. Come on now. Like, we're doing that 2 hours. I don't need to see the same things we've seen again. I want to see more of like the scheme sisters or whatever. Was Cely's like putting the guys to do like that into the water? Was that a task for the scheme?
Not that she read out loud. Yeah. And they didn't show Kirsten, so I want to see hers.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget what she was even supposed to do, but
did she have anything? I couldn't remember if they had anything.
Yeah, so everyone had one assigned to them except for Cely. And then but they didn't show Kirsten's, they showed Cely do the, I think she just like did it like F it. I'm just gonna see if they'll do this too. But at least that's not what they showed. She didn't read anything out loud for herself.
Yeah. Anna says Carrington is trash, LOL, LOL. And Laurel is delusional about the relationship she thinks that she has with him. It's sad. Yeah, it's getting sad to this point. Like, he's actually treating her like garbage, and she's just taking it. Jaquan says Johnny and Cely, not Justine and Caleb, is the top 2. That's all I know so far. Third could be Carrington and Laurel, but won't be surprised if Moira and Cely sneak into third. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I know that you're kind of going full force with Johnny and Cely, but I think that because I'm going to vote for Justine and Caleb, and so if there's some people that may have been Johnny stands are going over to Justine and Caleb, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. But I could also still picture Johnny and Cely winning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a toss-up, but
like they might even say, like, the vote was so close. Like I can hear that kind of narrative too, you know?
Right.
Sierra says, Connor said that they went back to back. So plus the one we saw yesterday, it would be their third time.
No, I think it back to back, meaning
This
the one
last one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I think too. But if it was their third time, then I think those people would not be that excited about them going to the Hideaway.
Oh no, then they're definitely. I'm gonna see if there's a timestamp on that tweet that Anna sent me.
So Lily says, when Connor said back to back, he meant including that episode that was just aired. Yeah, that's what we were thinking too. But third time would be too crazy. J-Lib all the way. J-Lib all the way. Okay.
What the hell? Who was this that tweeted him? Or because he mentioned whoever this was in his story with a heart.
Sorry, what are you saying?
Because like on the thread it shows like Connor mentioned whoever this is in his story.
Okay.
So it's someone that he knows, which is kind of right? Like
what's surprising about that?
I don't know that it's like a random. I thought this was just like a random person, but maybe he knows.
No, it's probably like a friend of his, like being like, "Hey, bro," like, or like someone, a loose acquaintance, or somebody that he follows, or they follow each other back, or not even so. Like maybe he just wanted to post it and tag that person.
Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Not too crazy. Oh my god, we still went to 2.5 hours. This is so annoying. I love talking about it, but like I just I missed my appointment. So Laundry Day says, I told you Carrington was a douche. I don't think I ever disagreed with that, but we were trying to start liking him again just because he's kind of, you know, he came from a similar background to Brazil. They were born in the same, you know, Air Force base. And so we're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but he's gone back to being full-fledged douche. I'm with you here. I'm not going to be changing on this stance, I don't think.
Nope, absolutely not.
From the beginning, we hated him. We tried to give him a chance, and he blew it. He blew it. So anything you want to share with the people here before we wrap it up?
Our petition.
Go on.
Well, I can't share it in the thread.
Share it. So talk about it while I try to find it.
So we started a change.org petition, and I believe the title is God, this is why.
It's called Equal Representation of Minorities of Love Island and Big Brother CBS.
Yeah, so if you guys believe in that message, I wrote a little blurb in there. Please sign it. We're trying to raise awareness about, and tell me if you like the cover picture I put on there. Yeah, so I tagged Twitter, CBS, Viacom, and Facebook. So those are the 4 entities that will be getting notification of it, as long as we get, I think, to 100 people. So share it with your friends, share it with your fam, spread the word. Let's get equal representation.
100%. Jaquan says, peace and blessings, #be great, his usual exit phrase. We love having you. You are the mayor of our chat room. If you watch Survivor, you know this is like this. You're the mayor of Ponderosa here. The mayor of the Realness chat. Actually, we should think of a name of our friends that hang out with us. Like
I know.
Like the realistness is
the villagers. I'm just kidding. It's twice now.
All our little realities, I don't know. We'll think about it. And for me, I do also want to share with you guys that I'm going to be doing a podcast with 3 other women from Rob as a Podcast next Saturday at Supermajority. And so with that, we are going to be having a roundtable discussion about women and women of color that are in reality television. And then after we have our roundtable, we were going to be encouraging and text banking about the vote and encouraging women to vote. And so if you go to Supermajority, you'll be able to just register. It's basically like name, phone number, whatnot. And so you can be part of like the text banking conversation. I've actually never done this before, so I'm really interested to see how it's all going to work. Oh, this might be cute. All my realists, all the realists.
I actually like it.
Do you think realist answers will be upset?
Let's ask her. I don't think so.
We'll see. We'll see if we can find something that isn't somebody else's name already. And so, yeah, so please sign up so you can be part of that conversation. I do have the link and a little more information about that in the info box below. If you have any questions about it, I'm going to be tweeting about it every day. I'll just post a tweet about it. So if you do follow me on Twitter at Chantele, at Shan___Fran. You can find me on Twitter. I will post it also on Instagram. So that's at ShanFranFran or at Reality Realness with 3 S's on there or on Twitter. But I'll most likely use Twitter at Shan___Fran because that's where I'm mostly linked with all my, Rob as a podcast people. So let's do that. Let's have a different type of party next Saturday to support voting for the next election.
Guys, if someone who's Canadian is helping get out the vote, come on, let's do it. Please vote.
Let's just do it. I mean, we know, I have a feeling what the outcome is going to be, but I think that everybody still needs to have their voices be heard. I think that's really important. Brazil's mentioned it many times that a lot of people have fought really hard for every one of us to have the right to have a say in what goes down with our government. And,
especially women, especially people of color, let's
use that.
Exercise that right. And even if you don't vote for president, vote for senators that share your values because they have to represent you. Otherwise, they're voted out of office. So, Google your senators, Google your congressmen, and see who you agree with the most because that's where the real change happens. So.
Absolutely. So I'll be excited to be talking about this really great panel of women, to women, about women, and I think it'll be a really, really great experience.
Mari's doing it too, right?
Yeah. So Mari, that you guys all met yesterday, she's going to be doing it with us. And then Lita Brillman and Liana Boris from Rob as a Podcast will be joining in on the discussion, both very intelligent women with great perspectives. I will say all will include Mari in that as well. And yeah, I'm excited to see what I learn because I definitely, anytime I have a conversation, I learn something new about maybe a new perspective, a new way of thinking, a new understanding. And so I think it'll be a great listen, and I'm not sure how interactive it will be, but hopefully we'll be able to take some questions and we can get a really good conversation going. So that will be next Saturday at 5 p.m. All the info should be in the info box. And then lastly, we are on our mission to 1,000 subscribers by October 18th. And I have a special guest that is going to be willing to come and chat with us that you've seen on maybe some TV shows and whatnot. So let's invite your friends, especially if they're fans of the TV show Arrow, or if they're fans of the Shadowhunters, or I don't know how universal this one, but Bad Blood, Defiance. I do have a star of these shows that is willing to come and hang out with us and chat with you, and we'll talk about a reality show, whatever is going to be going around then. And it should be super fun. She is the best person in the world. So I would love to share her with you guys. So let's get me to 1,000 so she can come and hang out. Last words, Bill?
Team Caleb.
I'll give him. Sure. Bye, guys.
Bye.